Uh, yeah, yep. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. That's right. We back in the building again. Once again, it is that time, y'all. It's Tuesday, uh, November the 30th. We live in full effect as normal, man. That's your boy K Whit, man. Your mama's number one draft pick, and I got my guy AP Alan Perales in the building. Alan, what's going on? How you feel?
Feeling festive.
Feel rested?
Feel rested. Feel festive. Feeling good. Feeling good.
Okay, good, good.
Also, I don't like ties. Can we get rid of that, please?
Can we get rid of ties? Yes, we will cover so much in the NFL going forward because it's really a lot to get to. So we just got a whole pretty much fifth topic based around this last past weekend in the NFL. What's going on, y'all? If you don't know me, I'm your boy K Whit, your mama's number one draft pick, and this is my guy AP Alan Perales in the building. We might as well go ahead and get started. You know, we got a couple things going on. Great show planned for you today, right here on the Rec Room Sports Hub. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share. You know, jump in the comment section. We got a lot to talk about, but we kind of do a little bit of a warm up. You know, just to kind of get the juices flowing. So right here we're gonna jump right into it, man. It's homecoming season, man. Homecoming season. If y'all don't know, we talked about it on multiple occasions. Me personally, I'm from Orangeburg, South Carolina. Okay, in about 2 weeks, it will be my alma mater's homecoming. Shout out to Orangeburg Wilkinson High School. That's right. Big old dub. And then around here in Jacksonville, it's happening. What about you, Alan? Is homecoming out there in Oklahoma coming up soon?
I think it's this week. Actually, I'm not sure. It's either this week or next week. But yeah, I'm out here in the metro area at Oklahoma City. I graduated from Mustang High School, which is the southwest part of the metro area. So they're one of the big 6A schools here. Yeah, I believe that theirs is either this Friday or next Friday. I'm not 100% sure. They are playing well though, 3-1, not too shabby. Of course, when you're playing high level competition week in and week out, I do want to say that the best high school in the country resides in the state of Oklahoma. Go Bigsby! Man, talk about a team that was. When I was in high school, this team was kind of middle of the pack. They're a good team, but not a great team.
Mm-hmm.
In the time that I've been out of high school, they have grown that program to become the elite, not just in the state, but in the country. And that's hard to do. That's hard to do for any state, is to have an elite school in the country. So, I mean, props to them for that, and props to all these other teams that are like elite teams in the country too.
Yeah, man, most def. Similar situation where we went to high school at. Big shout out to Jay to MIC. What's going on right now? He's out on the road. I think he's in the Atlanta area once again, making sure the lateral movement of the poles are aligned properly, complete 180 degrees up and down. Proper mirror placement is going on right now. So big shout out to Jay. We attended Orangeburg Wilkinson High School. During his era, there were several players who went to the league. Big shouts out to those guys. One is a national champion and a NFL Super Bowl champion. Big shouts out to Tim Jennings. And then as I grew into going to high school, we had a couple of players as well who went into the league as well, or who went on to have prosperous careers, even if it wasn't in the NFL. I've got Floyd Hagler, who was our quarterback, who went to Howard University and went on to play Canadian football. And there are a plethora of others. I'm sure, Arturo Freeman. I could name names. It's gonna come up, and of some of the most special in the era of high school football athletics came out of Orangeburg Wilkinson. Yeah, I know, Jay. It's so many to name, but for me, as I was looking through some things over this past weekend, some headlines of sports around the country, I had to say this, man. High school sports ain't the same no more, especially football. Here in Jacksonville, or in Florida in general, football is taken to a whole nother level, especially when you deal with these young men and their parents who put them in programs early, who have their own, their own expenses so that they can make sure that they're training well. Case in point, right? A local high school, Bowles High School right here in Jacksonville, a young man by the name of Xander Edwards, broke Derrick Henry's single game rushing touchdown record. I don't know if y'all know, but Derrick Henry is from the country. That's right, Yulee, Florida, which is basically 20 minutes away from Jacksonville. It's like the country compared to where the metropolitan area is here in Jacksonville. But he broke Derrick Henry's single game rushing touchdown record, y'all, by scoring 8 touchdowns. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, 6, 7, but 8 touchdowns in a wild 73-49 win over Baldwin. Now, Eric's record-breaking performance included 517 yards, 38 carries, and 8 touchdowns from distance. Now, only one of these touchdowns were at the 1 yard line, y'all. 44 yards, 22 yards, 32 yards, 41. He broke a 77-yarder, a 59, and a 35. Now, I don't know where you went to high school at, but God dog, somebody could have tackled this young man. Okay. But as you look at his lineage, we cannot negate the fact that Edwards is the son of former NFL fullback Mark Edwards, and currently he is garnering attentions from schools like Syracuse, Memphis, SMU, Pittsburgh, and Arkansas State. So big shouts out to Xander Edwards out here crushing the defense. I don't know what them safeties and linebackers felt like after that when they got on that bus, but that young man showed them who's the boss. Now, on top of that, a little further west in Alabama, Williamson High School, that's right, Williamson High School, based in Mobile, Alabama, defeated Murphy High School with a jaw-dropping, get this, hold on, wait. A jaw-dropping final score of 100-0. I can't even count. Like, is there a mercy rule? Alan, is there a mercy rule where you're from? Is that
in some cases there is. I've been in schools where smaller schools where if you get more than 45 points up by halftime, they call the game right then and there. I know because I competed in a game where we lost 80-0, and I ended up having 2 concussions at the end of the night. So I don't quite remember how that game went down, but I got bits and pieces of it still ringing in my head. But it depends really on what rules and regulations teams have. Sometimes there's a mercy rule. Sometimes they just let these kids play, I guess. So, but yeah, I guess everybody knows now that I had a concussion in high school. So.
But did you play through it, Alan? I mean, I want to know.
I did, and I don't remember half of that game, but that's what happens when you try to do too much.
Okay, Alan. With all of the talk about professional sports and concussions, bro, I don't know if they should have told you to sit down or if I should congratulate you for sucking it up right now.
It was all I remember was they had me on the hands team, which for the opening kickoff, they tried the team we were playing was one of the better teams, and they in our district, and they were trying to be cute and try to do an onside kick first play so that they could, because they were going to run the score up on us. They know, how it is. It's these better schools that like to bully these littler small schools that aren't as big competition, and they tried an onside. It hit right at me, and as soon as I dove on top of the guy, hit me right in the head. So, yeah, it was not a pretty night that I can remember anyway. But hey, it was an interesting experience. It
was an interesting experience, Alan, and I appreciate you being honest with us about that, because if you survived and you don't remember that game, I'm glad you can remember that it's just about that time to start the show. Hit the button!
This is Rec Room Sports. Olympians carrying the torch, going where they don't go. We ain't lost. From the optics to the topics, we got this with synopsis. Think outside the boxes like Jay on the mic. or your boy K Whit. Joe is my coach, T Sweat on the mix. All sports, even if you catch fish like Nate Diaz catches fist. You need to catch this episode, it's a can't miss. We go live and you should subscribe and X's and O's. We made our plan, yo, 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 yo,
yo. Like we in the building, and finally, that's right. It's another Tuesday, y'all. So make sure tell a friend, man. It's a regular sports week back again. Alan in the building, AP Alan Perales. What's going on? AP, how you feeling?
Another day, right? Another day, another dollar.
I definitely need more dollars. When you want to talk right now, but yeah, man. Of course, once again, y'all, it's Regular Sports It's Tuesday. We got a lot going on, and we're going to go ahead and get right into this. I feel like this is going to be one of the better shows. We might as well get into the mix right about now. So, of course, y'all know what time it is, man. It's going up on a Tuesday. All right, so make sure you follow us right there on Twitch. Make sure on Instagram you see us on IG. That's _Rec Room Sports. On TikTok, that's at Rec Room Sports Hub. On YouTube, the Rec Room Sports Hub. And then, of course, while you're in the comment section, do your thing, man. Who's your team? Shout out in the comments, let us know. And of course, in terms of our shout outs, we got to give a big shout out to all of the teachers, all of the faculty members, everybody watching, everybody on the road, all the truck drivers, all of my nurses. Big shouts out to all of my nurses out there doing their thing, working hard right now. All of my fellas out there, all of my coaches, all of my staff, all of my auxiliary staff, everybody who's out there, working to be offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. If you own a gym, if you helping kids grow in the sports world right now, big ups to you, because this is what we do right now, pretty much for y'all. And I'm excited to be here. So normally, Alan, you know what I'm saying? We got to give you your props. Alan, you got so much going on. I know you're getting ready to get back started with you and Mr. First Down, who joined us last week to begin the resurgence of what would be your show or your regular show, On the Mat. Tell the people about On the Mat, bro. Give me that.
So yeah, On the Mat is usually on Tuesday nights. We recap Monday Night Raw. We might be doing Saturdays as well, recapping SmackDown, but for the most part, we do all our recaps on Tuesday night. But at the same time, we got that's pretty much it. It's just me and Sam. We're talking wrestling. We're talking WWE, NXT, TNA, AEW whenever we get the chance. So it's all good. We should be coming back with that here pretty soon. So
that's what's up. That's what's up. Now, as we creep into October, normally there are things that we have to kind of visit. Sports is heading into that one of the best times of the year. Football is happening, basketball will crank back up, and then somehow, some way, the MLB kind of takes center stage as the playoffs crank up. The new wild card format has been taking the nation by storm, adding a little bit of spice into what was a bit of a not exciting time. You get somebody in there, a unsuspected team, so to speak, the opportunity to shine. And when we talk about shining in baseball, we got to talk about this gentleman right here. I've got the opportunity to interview him with Jay about a year or so ago. I think it was around the same time, to be honest. So he is technically Rec Room Sports Mr. October. If you don't know, you will shortly. You can definitely catch up with him on his page on Black Baseball Mistape, and we will definitely get a chance to speak with him about that here in just a moment. So let's go ahead, make some room, take a little bit of room for my guy, yours and mine, Mr. Cheeks from Black Baseball Mistape. Mr. Cheeks, what's going on? We got you on mute. We got to unmute you, bro.
What's going on, fellas? What's going on?
Oh man, hey, what's going on with you, bro? We appreciate you stopping in. is really happening right now. I
It is.
get you in the building, bro. Man, how's everything been this past season? Is wild. You've been doing so much. What's going on with you?
It's been fantastic, man. First and foremost, thank you for having me on again. I really appreciate it, man. I appreciate what y'all do. So I'm excited to be on. And I gotta say for the record, I think this is the best time of year. Look,
Come on.
you got everything going on. You got football's happening, college football, pro football. You got the baseball playoffs. Look, you got the WNBA playoffs if you're into that. So they're even doing some preseason hoops and stuff. So I think this is the best time of year if you're a sports fan.
For sure, for sure. Now, if you don't know, now you know. Get out your phone, get on your internet, whatever. Find your router, make sure it's plugged in. Go and follow my guy, Black Baseball Mixtape. Great content, great interviews, awesome shorts. He's talking to a little bit of everybody, from the majors to the minors, big, small, and all. I really can appreciate how you do what you do out there, Chiefs. Before we get into some of the questions that we want to ask you, do us a big favor, man. For the people who don't know, give us a little bit of a rundown of you and what you do at Black Baseball Mixtape, bro.
No doubt. The mixtape is about 3 years old now, so it's about three. It's probably maybe even 4.5 4.5 seasons in. But the Black Baseball Mixtape is about 3 years old. And I mean, we cover baseball literally every day. Every day there is a 3 minutes or less recap on Instagram, on TikTok, about kind of the news of the day. But we cover it the way we cover baseball and the way we cover sports is that we want to highlight diversity in the game. We want to highlight the African American players at every level. We want to highlight folks that our community can latch on to, cheer for, and kind of root for them throughout their entire career. And by doing that, we really started to make an impact. I feel really good about kind of the media coverage we do, the work that we do, the collaborations we do. Because, for example, last year, so this is 2025, in 2024, we had 8 major league debuts about players that we covered on the mixtape in the minor leagues. So we had already introduced our audience to players like James Wood, and then they're making their major league debut that season. So we give them another chance to root for them. So we've had a lot of players. I think we've had about 3 or 4 debuts this year. We had a lot of players that have grown with us, and it gives our audience a chance to root for them. We do a really good job, I think, of highlighting kind of the big topic stories, like we're about to talk about the playoffs, but we also are able to cover, players that people should be doing in college baseball for the draft, high school baseball, if it's a elite prospect. We just kind of run the gamut, and we do it in a way that I think we blend our culture really well with it. Our community, you'll see a lot of hip hop references in the way we cover sports. You'll often hear about what's happening in culture in a way that it just doesn't make it dull. Baseball is known to be kind of a dull sport for our community, and we want to kind of at least provide our audience with references and kind of cultural experiences that they'll understand while they're enjoying baseball. So it's been a ride, man. It's been a great 3 years. We've had a lot of guests on the podcast. I've been able to go to a lot of places, sit down with a lot of folks, and we've got a wonderful, wonderful team as well. Our crew that comes on once a week every Monday. We have a crew podcast, and we usually have a special guest on Thursday on the podcast. So it's rolling, man. It's really, really going well. And, just one day at a time, one bit at a time, trying to get our kids some of that guaranteed money, right? Look, the one thing about baseball is guaranteed money. You know what I mean? It's you don't do too much damage to your body, and you get some long contracts if things work out for you.
Hey man, that's the truth. One of the things I do love about these baseball contracts, man, you could be good in 40, still making a couple $1 million. Sure.
I think the first in baseball, the contracts are a little crazy, and team ownership's a lot crazier than other sports. So most free agents don't even get into their free agent opportunity until 28, 29. A lot of the kids a lot of the guys are out of the league, right? What we've seen this last 2 seasons, makes a lot this season, is that these clubs are extending these rookies. Like a guy like Christian Campbell for the Red Sox only played like 3 games in the major leagues, and they extended him and gave him a 7-year contract. So there's they were starting to see owners kind of figure this thing out and how to lock up their players long term. But yeah, it's brutal out there. Baseball is the hardest sport to play. It's the hardest sport to play, and it's the longest before you get paid, right? Like, you know, if you're a first round pick in football, you're a first round pick in basketball. 9 times out of 10, you're instantly signing with a guaranteed contract and signing bonuses, and you're going to be on the court or on the field. You know how many first round baseball draft picks never even make it to the major leagues? They don't get out of AA, man. It's tough.
Yeah. That's the thing about baseball sometimes, is that, you know, it is a tough sport to play. And even you could get picked number 1 and not see a major league field for your entire career. That's how difficult it is. Like, if you're a gifted enough player, yeah, you could get into the major leagues within like 3 months. But I've heard and seen some number 1 picks wait at least 6-7 years before they made their major league debut.
Yeah, so. And the fast ones like the Paul Skeens and all that stuff, that's all new. That's a new phenomenon. Like, you're right. There's a lot of first round and top 5 picks that never make it to the major leagues, like never touch the major leagues. And they'll watch out, they'll get hurt, they won't make it past, they find out they can't hit a curveball, and it's a lot. But yeah, you're exactly right. It's a slug, but we want more of our kids. We want more of our kids to actually just look at the options, right? Have the options of playing all the sports and all the games. And I do think that baseball got away from that for about 20 years or so. After the early 90s, baseball went away from our community, and now we're trying to do our best to make sure that they reunite and give our kids an opportunity to be successful in the game.
And you're exactly right, man. I've gotten an opportunity to meet some coaches from 1 or 2 of the Northern Florida baseball teams out here to travel ball. Mm-hmm. That's big. It's Florida, so just about anything that involves traveling and sports is really big. But that travel baseball right now is kicking off. They got their fall league that I just met from Coach Broward. As a matter of fact, big shouts out to Coach B. And in the green room right now, we got our guy Bobby G. We're gonna bring Bobby G up. What's going on, Bobby G? How you doing?
What fresh from practice, future QB1, doing this thing at practice. So,
I love it.
Yeah, Chiefs, Bobby is our resident father of the year, as he normally puts his son through grueling exhibitions and then comes and tells us all about it.
Oh, I love it.
Absolutely. Just like what Denzel say, you miss a tackle, you run a mile. You miss a block, you run a mile. If you fumble my football, I will put my off in your John Brown hind part.
Right, yep.
And then you will run a mile.
Yeah, then you'll run a mile. That's a legendary Herman Boone. He's a Virginia guy.
One of the best sports movie adaptations of all time. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So idea too, while we run it into, not just at the MLB, but high school athletics as well. Chiefs is right here for just about everything.
So Herman, I live in Richmond, Virginia. That movie, Remember the Titans, and the legendary Herman Boone and Coach Yost, they were up in Northern Virginia, like much closer to DC. They were like in Alexandria. That's where T.C. Williams was. But I actually, when I might have been in college when Coach Boone might have passed now, but when I might have been in college, I heard him speak, and he loves Remember the Titans. He loves the movie, right? He goes, there's only one part of the movie he really did not like, and could you imagine what that part is?
Oh,
no. So if you remember in the movie, like the end of the game, they do some type of like Rev comes in and they do some type of trick play and they go 80 yards to win this championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Boone hated that part because in reality, in real life, TC Williams won the game like 50-0.
Yeah, they blew everybody out. Their whole schedule was full of blowouts.
He was like, there was not one dramatic game that season It is very true. Their defense was like no one scored on their defense. So they won like their state championship game, like, 1,000,000 to nothing. He was like, they used like that with Hollywood because there was nobody even close to them.
That's crazy.
I mean, you got to get that dramatic ending, right?
Yeah.
You got to get it for the money.
Hollywood does. That's what Hollywood does.
Yeah, you can't just leave regular stuff the way it is. You gotta spice it up a little bit, right? I mean,
I laughed out loud. I laughed out loud when he said it.
just look what they did on training day. I'm just training day wasn't real.
No, but wait, before you move on, got quickly comment on as I came in. Chief was talking about something about baseball in our community.
Yeah, come on.
Everything he said is true. I was going to add on to it. I think another thing that kind of killed this is inflation, man. People in our neighborhood got priced out. Like, you play baseball, you got to buy a bat, got to buy a glove, got to buy several balls. It's like, bro, you got to buy one basketball. You got to buy one football, and you can play basketball by yourself. Plus, we get creative in the hood. A lot of us learn how to play off milk crates. So I learned how to play basketball by shooting at an invisible spot on my garage because I couldn't afford a hoop. But
there's a number of things. There's a number of things. King Griffey, I will tell you this: a lot of folks, Harold Reynolds, King Griffey Jr., a lot of those guys echo exactly what you said, and I believe that is part of it. The pricing out of the game and the cost of the game obviously was, it did price a lot of our kids out and price a lot of our families out. And baseball moved from a community game in which they played in a lot of inner cities to really a county trust fund game. And that's pretty much where it is now. There are more growing urban teams with more support now, but it's still at its core where we are right now, a really interesting kind of line of segregation there. This is one thing though that somebody pointed out to me, and I always like to say this because I find it true. Even where I live in Richmond, I'll go to the inner city of Richmond, talk to the city council person, and I'll be like, "Oh man, do y'all have baseball fields?" He's like, "Cheats, we have 8 fields. We have 8 fields. Nobody uses the fields. The grass is overgrown on the fields." He's like, "We got 8 fields. We got fields. What we don't have are enough adults that are willing to take a chance on a sport that they don't necessarily know and they didn't necessarily grow up playing." So this is the scenario that a person told me. It really did stand out to me. If you say you got 20 kids. You got 20 kids. If you got 20 kids and you say you got, I don't know, say like 8 adults, all of them, think about it, all of them in our community, most of them say African American diverse, right? You roll out, you take them out, take all those 20 kids out to a field. All 8 of those people, all 8 of those adults will say, "Oh no, man, I know this. I know, like, center lineup here, offensive line, you a wide out, you a cornerback lineup here, quarterback does this, right? I can help teach this game." If you take those same 20 kids, roll out a basketball, you'll have at least 2 or 3 parents that'll be like, "Yo, I played point guard. This is a center. This is a 2-3 zone. This is what you got to do. Go here." He goes, you take those same 20 kids and those same 8 parents and you put them on a baseball field, and you're going to have 8 parents being like, "I never played that. I don't know what to do." And it registered with me. It really did, because we've had such of a gap, and we've had such of a gap, like I said, since probably the late 90s. We've had a generation of parents that don't even want to rock with baseball. Like, they don't even want, like, they don't, it's the 3rd or 4th sport, even if you put the equipment out there with the kids, right? Kids love to play, but you also got to have the folks that the people like you are, sir, that teaches your son and teaches your neighborhood, teaches your community how to actually play the game and play the game well. And baseball is also one of those sports where it doesn't feel good to just go out there and you're overmatched. Like, like if you go out on a baseball field and you getting beat 25-0, you know what I mean? And and your kids aren't hitting, you know what I mean? The first thing they're gonna do is be like, "Man, I'm out of here. Like, this ain't good." There's such a such a challenge with development if you're already behind, that it does make it. Now and again, I think there's a lot of people and a lot of communities that are working to do the right thing, address those. We got more of our kids in elite programs. We've got more of our kids in elite series opportunities. More of our kids are in college. NIL. Everybody talks about NIL and football and basketball. NIL has tremendously helped baseball players because baseball players weren't even getting full scholarships. There was no full scholarships in Division I baseball, and now they get NIL opportunities, which a kid may not necessarily, take another scholarship in another sport that would be full. If we were at the University of Alabama, and University of Alabama says you're a tremendous baseball player and a tremendous football player, but you better take this football scholarship because it's full scholarship. You get your meals paid for, all that. Baseball was like, we can give you a partial scholarship of financial at the University of Alabama. So now things are starting to change, and our kids are getting more opportunities. And I think it'll have an effect. It already has had an effect in places like you were saying in Florida. I've seen it all over California, Texas. We've got some really good advocates, people really motivated to help our young people. And then what we got to figure out is how do we get our talented young people in the pipeline, right? There's a pipeline that a lot of our kids don't even know about. How do we get them to USA Baseball? How do we get them to, those all-star games? How do we get them to, in front of college kids? And how do we get them? Those are things that a generation of parents have missed in baseball, but they know, team elite, team ABCD in basketball. They know all the ropes. They know all the worldwide wests of the world. They don't even have a worldwide west in baseball. So that's the challenge.
Or we haven't met him yet. There we go.
I would agree. If there's one college sport that has benefited the most from NIL, it's definitely been college baseball.
College baseball's done well.
College baseball and even softball, they're becoming more and more worldly recognized in the country. You're seeing people start to turn to college baseball a lot more. And I know in our show we talk about college baseball a lot, specifically because one of our co-hosts is a college baseball first base coach. So so we always get that insight from that. But softball's starting to get its own professional league because of how much people are starting to watch college softball again, and how much people are starting to watch college baseball again. So those two sports are starting to elevate more and more in the college ranks.
Yeah, college softball is fantastic. College softball is also fascinating, right? And here's the thing: there are more African American women, our African American women playing college softball. They play college softball at D1 programs at such a higher rate than baseball for African Americans in baseball. And you can see it in the game. You see the way that the game is played in college softball. You see how the excitement and some of the, just like athleticism and cool things that having so many, like you'll look at, the national championship team. And obviously this last year, it was Najee Kennedy from Texas Tech. She was the first $1 million NIL person, softball player she's the first $1 million NIL softball player, African-American pitcher from Texas Tech. She transferred over from Stanford to go to Texas Tech for the NIL money and that number. And she's fantastic. She's worth every penny. But it's interesting because I was starting to look. We do a lot of research about the numbers, and I was like, at first I couldn't put my finger on it. I couldn't figure out why so many of our young ladies were in Division I, big time Division I programs, and our men just hadn't really caught up. But here's the thing, and this is true when you think about it. Take away football. A lot of our athletes are multi-sport athletes, and they're ultimately going to play. They're going to play football if they have a choice between. Look at Kyler Murray. Look at Jameis Winston. All these guys are baseball players.
Russell Wilson.
Kyler Murray is a first-round draft pick for the Athletics, I believe. But he went to the Cardinals because, of course, he's going to go. It's just the money's just different. But if you take away football, obviously young ladies don't have the opportunity to play professional football or even college football at a high level. So a lot of our young ladies go to softball. The ones that are that are talented and qualified to do so, and it really changes that dynamic of the numbers.
Yeah, it's crazy to see that. Of course, just like you said, the way that African American women are taken to it just a little bit more than African American men.
And they're lit too. They're lit.
going to say, but the women's showing a lot of style, a lot of
Yeah,
flair.
those girls are lit.
I would say I'm an Oklahoma fan, so I've been spoiled with 4 national championships the last 5 years. We've had really stacked rosters the last decade or so, and it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, y'all
How many championships, Alan?
4.
Yeah, how
1,
many?
2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
4.
F-O.
They're beasts. Oklahoma's going to be really good again this year too. They transferred the best freshman pitcher in the country, a young lady that we knew in high school. She transferred in the portal from Ole Miss, where she was the leading freshman pitcher in the country, to Oklahoma. So she's going to be Malia is her name. She's going to be at Oklahoma. Oklahoma's going to be stacked.
Wow, another stacked year for Oklahoma on the way. Everybody in the building with Chiefs from Black Baseball Mixtape. Make sure you take a minute out your busy schedule and you go and follow him on IG. Catch some of those shorts. Show him a little bit of love. Put some hearts up there. He's a great guy. He might even respond back to some.
I will. I'll respond back.
Yeah, he definitely will. And we appreciate him for coming back in the building. But now, folks, we're gonna get into kind of what we brought him in for. You know, we love it when we got somebody who's an expert. And Chief just so happens to be our baseball extraordinaire. We got a chance to got maybe about 15 minutes with him. He's already taken about 20. So I appreciate you hanging as long as you
have. No, it's all good. It's all good. Look, the Reds. I've got my Reds hat on, but Hunter Green is getting shelled right now. So it's 5-0 Dodgers. The last time I checked, it could be worse by now. So I've got all night now.
Now you got some time. So
it doesn't look like we're catching up.
You tell me.
Couple things, Chiefs, man. So we got some regular baseball questions. So the MLB postseason and awards. What you think, Chiefs? We got AP, of course. We got Alan right there. Alan Perales is up there. He's our resident baseball guy at the moment. So Alan's got a couple questions. I got some. I'm even throwing one. We're gonna go ahead and kick it off with you, Alan. What you got for him?
So, who do you think's winning Manager of the Year in the American League? Because there's so many good candidates that you could probably say. I would have said AJ Hinch had the Tigers not blown that division lead, but it seems to me it's either the Mariners manager or Cleveland's manager. That's just me. But how are you feeling?
I'm gonna give you a different one. I'm gonna go with John Schneider. And he is the Blue Jays manager.
Toronto.
So I would go AL Manager of the Year. I would go Blue Jays. Blue Jays were, winning that AL East and a division with the Yankees and the Red Sox, having the lead in the East for most of the entire season. The Yankees just kind of caught them. Yankees caught them at the end of the season. And then they had to kind of win out, which the Blue Jays did, to get that number one seed. So I just was really, really impressed because if you look at now again what Cleveland did in the second half of the season, absolutely unreal. So they do have a shot because they not only did they make the playoffs, which was absolutely unheard of a month ago, they won the division. Now they got a lot of help from the Tigers, right? The Tigers collapsed. The Guardians, the Guardians go up. So if anyone voted for the Cleveland Guardians and their manager, I would not fight them. I would not die on that hill. I'd penciled in the Blue Jays because of the way that they navigated the entire season, the way that they have Vladdy Jr. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is a star, but outside of that, they don't have a lot of stars when it comes to like a Yankees roster or even a Mariners roster. The Mariners roster is probably from top to bottom one of the best rosters in baseball now. Like they're just loaded, and they play like it. But I was just really impressed with what the Blue Jays did to win the East, to hold on to the East, and put themselves in a position because they were one of those teams. Every year you say like, if the Blue Jays are healthy, they're going to be good, and they were never healthy. This is the first year where you got a real George Springer, you got a real Bo Bichette, you got a real Vladdy Jr., you got a real Kevin Gossman, and I mean I think they just really put it together. So my manager of the year would be the Blue Jays.
Manager of the year. We're gonna go ahead and toss that up to
That's in the American League.
Yeah,
In the National League.
National League, what we got?
Yeah, you got to go to Pat. I think it's Pat Murphy's his name over there in Milwaukee. And I mean, they're the best team in baseball. And again, they're a team not loaded. You're looking at a National League that has the Phillies in it, and they've got stars from top to bottom. You've got the Dodgers in it, which is a historically loaded team. The Dodgers lead off 3 former MVPs, right? And the Brewers, you probably can't even name 5 Brewers on their team. And all they did was have the best record in baseball and just kept winning. And they didn't do it with like a player like Cal Raleigh that had a breakout. See, they just consistently were well coached, well played, and just did everything right. So Pat Murphy for the Brewers would be my NL Manager of the Year.
All right, so we got both sides of the court covered. Not both sides of the court, but both leagues covered. Make sure you write that down. we gonna come back and revisit this once the awards are given out. Alan, matter of fact, I actually see one of our other favorite baseball heads. She's very knowledgeable. She may have another question. Let's see if Miss April's in the back. April, how you doing? You ready? You want to come up?
Hey y'all, what's up?
I forgot to tell you, Cheats. She is our resident Yankees extraordinaire. Please listen.
Oh, fantastic. Tough game tonight.
Bases loaded, nobody out.
Yeah, tough.
That was rough. That was rough to watch.
Alan, don't start.
I'm just saying, it was rough to watch. I
I just
told
want to
y'all
say
they
this.
lost
I
earlier.
just want to say this. Cheats. Before I joined the podcast, I followed you, and I'm a huge fan. So I'm very honored to meet you. I love
nice
your
to
stuff.
meet you as well. No,
Very honored to meet you.
I appreciate it, but it's really nice to meet you as well. I always need more Yankee fans in my life, so this is great.
Well, cool. So out here, one of the things that I wanted to throw out there, right? As we kind of getting into the time of the year where managers are getting fired or they are mutually parting ways with organizations. I kind of wanted to throw this out there, Cheats. Like, of the 4 most recent fired or departed managers, we got some potential somewhere. But which one do you think going into next season? Because we're just forecasting right now. Would be like the most desirable position. Of course, Bob Melvin's gone from the Giants. Rocco Baldelli, Twins, Rangers. Everybody loved Bruce Bochy, but he had to go eventually. And then, of course, we don't know. We never know what's really going on with the Angels for some reason, besides them spending money. Which one of those 4 will probably be somewhere? If you were a manager, where would you want to, rest your head at, so to speak?
So hold on. What team would I want to go to, or what manager do you think is going to get another job?
Which team would you want to go to with the way they're currently constructed? Of course.
Okay. Well, I understand. So here's the thing. If you're a manager or potential manager, obviously there's only 30 clubs. These are very exclusive jobs, right? You're going to look at fit, and you'll look at culture of the organization as much as you're going to look at the roster, right? Because rosters turn over, you know what I mean? Like, obviously you got to have good players. You got to have good players to win. But if you're asking me what's a better job between the Giants, the Twins, the Rangers, right, and the Angels, you can instantly throw out the Angels and you can instantly throw out the Twins.
Right.
You're throwing those aside. So the question is,
well, Twins just sold off their entire roster this off.
Right.
This
And
season.
again, it's not even about rosters, right? I don't want to be in a position like the Angels are never going to be able to compete in that town, in that environment. I mean, think about this. The Angels had Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani in the same lineup and couldn't win, right? It has a lot more to do. Like they were never as important as the Dodgers, and they never will be. Right? So I would not want to be in the Angels organization.
They spent a whole draft on pitchers and none of them worked out.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be there. The Twins, hey, Minnesota is a wonderful community, wonderful location. They've got Target Field is a beautiful place. I'm still not going there. I'm not going there right now, and especially when I can go to San Francisco, which has a a recent history of being competitive, going to the World Series and so forth. The Rangers also, I think, would be pretty attractive, even though that West is very competitive right now. The Rangers made the World Series 2 years ago. So I just don't think the guys like Bochy's in his 70s, right? Like Bochy and Washington are dismissals where it fits for kind of the performance of the franchise, but it's also like how much. I mean, Ron Washington had quadruple bypass surgery. Now, and as much as he says he wants to come back and be healthy, which I believe he does, there's a part of everyone that's like, we just, we want. It might be the best for him not to go through, future coaching in this way. Like, I'm just saying, where I had a conversation with another reporter about this today. They don't want any Ron Washington health crisis on their hands. And I love Wash, but I would say between the question you asked, the answer would be between the Giants and the Rangers. Giants are probably where I would go first. Rangers probably where I would go second. And then, if I needed to go to Minnesota or Los Angeles or Anaheim or I would go there. But I also don't think Bochy, unless Bochy has some type of deal with the Giants where he comes back in that organization and they kind of already knew it. I think Bochy takes, an emeritus or special assignment job in San Francisco because that's kind of where his home franchise is. Washington, hopefully he just works on his health, stays around the game as an ambassador somewhere. The other two guys, Rocco Bardelli for the Twins manager that got fired is super young. He's going to get a job somewhere. I don't know if he'll be a manager immediately, but he'll get a job somewhere. And then who else were we talking about got fired? Oh, the Giants job is going to be extremely desirable. Somebody's going to want to be there. Somebody's going to want to be there.
For sure. In the green room, again, we got somebody else we normally bring in for our special guest. We got Jerry from Dallas. Jerry from Dallas, man. How's it going? We haven't seen you in a while. Welcome to the show, Jerry.
It's going great. Thanks for having me. And the Rangers job is less desirable every day. I don't like the Rangers at all. I don't know
if they play
on that panel that likes the Rangers, but that's an awful job.
They play in a beautiful look. They play in a beautiful stadium. They just hosted. I guess it was 2 years ago. They hosted the All-Star game, Global Life. It's phenomenal.
And a World Series recently.
Yeah, it's look. I of the four jobs you mentioned, I think it'd be number 2 on my list.
Yeah, I agree.
Jerry, I know you had some a question or two because I know you're on borrowed time right now. What you got for Chiefs, man?
What you think pitching's going to dominate this postseason, or do you think the offenses are going to finally get it together? Other than the Dodgers tonight, who are really good, who hit the ball extremely well.
Nope, I think pitching dominates every postseason. Postseason. So good pitching beats good hitting every time. I mean, we've seen it over and over again. If you get those guys, those aces throwing, it's so tough to stop that. So I think in the playoffs, especially in this baseball, playoffs, you're going to see, especially like today. Today's a great example, right? We had up until this game tonight, when you're talking about Los Angeles and Cincinnati, we had low scoring games the entire time because you had number one starters actually pitching like number one starters. And I think you're going to see more and more of that as you go through the playoffs. Nothing's better than getting to these big playoff games and having a Turk Skubal on the mound or a Crochet, who did real well, or Fried, who did great today. That's just the best, man. So you're going to see those guys go, I think, deeper into games because you got to think about it. In the regular season, those guys are only going six or 7 innings at the most. And I think, you saw guys take the ball longer. Both Skubal, I think, and Crochet work really well deep into the game. And I think that's going to be fun. So good pitching beats good hitting every time.
How worried are you about the Yankees bullpen right now?
Oh, who isn't, right? If you're a Yankee, we should have the resident Yankee fan here. But you've had to be living and dying all season with this Yankees bullpen. It's got to be extremely frustrating.
Right. You tell me. You tell me.
It's a good team, except for the one of the most important pieces of baseball, which is your bullpen. The bullpens gave it up all year.
Here's the thing. They thought they solved it when they got Devin Williams to start the year, right?
Yeah.
And I love Devin, but he's been bad.
Right.
And then they thought they solved it at the trade deadline when they got like 3 relievers, and they've all been bad. So the idea, it's just, I mean, I know Yankee fans that are just pulling their hair, and today didn't help, right? Luke Weaver comes in the game after Freeds pitched so well and instantly gives up the lead and runs, and it's just got to be frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, even the Red Sox, even Chapman was less than perfect today, because
Yeah.
that 9th inning was a perfect example. Bases loaded, no outs.
Yeah.
And then he strikes out the side. So I mean,
strikes out Stanton, pops out Jazz, and strikes out Grisham. Is it?
Grisham, yeah. I mean, I think the Yankees can get to Bello tomorrow. So I'm thinking it's going to go three games, because Bayo's hasn't been great down the stretch. So
that's
the
thing.
Tonight.
It's like the remember the old NBA when it was like, what was it, that first series in the old NBA was first out of 5?
Yeah,
it was like, remember that when the playoff structure of the NBA was like that first series was like best out of 5 or something like that. Yeah, that's what this is, and it's you lose game 1, you are behind it. You are behind it. So I it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow in all the games, because the Tigers, who I did not think were going to win today, they won, and the Cubs, who I did not think was going to win today, they won, and the Red Sox, who I did not think was going to win today, won. So those teams are behind the 8 ball. I think it's cool. A lot of people complain about it, but the fact that these wildcard series don't move, your home field is your home field. So you play 3 in a row, it's crazy.
Yeah. Last question, and I'll let the others go. Team that you were surprised with, if any, and team you were disappointed with, if any.
Today. Well, today or overall?
Today in the playoffs. Today, any team that you thought was better than you thought, and teams that you thought were worse than you thought.
You tell me.
I thought all 3. So up until today, I'm wrong on all 3 games. So I'm disappointed equally in all 3 of them. So I'm disappointed in the Guardians. Okay. I'm disappointed in the Padres. I'm disappointed in the Yankees. More so, I understand how the Yankees lost. So I get that. I did not know until today that the Padres have only scored 1 run in the last 33 innings. The Padres lineup is too good for them not to score. Yeah. And I think they got enough today from Pivetta, and they definitely got enough from their bullpen to win the game. The idea that you lose the game, was it 3-1 or something like that? Yep. With that lineup in the Padres, extremely frustrating. So you know what? I'll take it back. I'm most disappointed in the Padres. Okay. That is the answer, because I understand you're only going to score so many runs off of Skubal if you're the Guardians, no matter how hot you are. That guy's a machine. And the way that Crochet was pitching today too, I give them props. It really was the Padres that had a lot of opportunities, left a lot of guys on base, left a lot of scoring positions. They just missed a lot of opportunities. So I think they're the worst loss. And I also think that they're really vulnerable now, right? The Cubs are playing at home, right. And they really needed to get this game.
Wow. Okay, Jerry. You got any more? You got any more in the tank?
I'm set. I just want to say to Alan, I'll see you on Sunday in MetLife Stadium for the Cowboys Jets game. I hope you get good seats.
Hopefully we won't tie this time.
Oh
God! Don't give. If you give up 40 points to the Jets, then you need to retire, for God's sake.
I guess Eberflus will be fired after Sunday then.
Yes, he will.
Once again, Jerry, a.k.a. Uncle Scott, we appreciate you, man. We know you're working hard. Thanks for coming in and having some of that baseball talk for us. And make sure y'all catch Scott on Lock It In over the weekend on Saturday between 9 and 10, Sunday between 9 and 10. We got that fantasy. We got all that good stuff going on. Thanks again, Jerry. We're going to check you out for the next show.
Go Cowboys. Go Cowboys.
So I'm one of the more mild-mannered Cowboy fans too, by the way. I'm not like we're going to the Super Bowl type Cowboy fans. No. No, we're not.
Go ahead, April.
Good.
So I had two quick questions for you. First question. Opening day has never been on a day that's not a Thursday. Next year, we're having it on Wednesday, and the only game being played is the Giants and Yankees. How do you feel about that now that they're doing something new?
Well, all right. So it's interesting because, like, even this year, right? The last 2 years, they've done the Tokyo series, and they did it they do those this year they did the Padres and the Dodgers in Tokyo as regular season games, like a week, but they still were playing spring training games. They did the Tokyo series, came back, did spring training games, and then they had like their opening day and so forth. I'm not too worried about like a one game off. Like the NFL kicks off their Thursday night game, to start the season, and then they have a full slate on Sunday. If they've got a game on Wednesday, just like one game, and then they play everything else on either Thursday or Friday, hopefully they do a good job of showcasing that one game. I'm not too concerned. The season is so long. The season is so long.
Oh, yeah, I'm not worried about that part. I'm excited because especially after what happened this year with opening day, and the only team that showed for a couple hours was the Yankees game because it wasn't on MLB Network. I think it was on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited that they're doing just the one game, and then they're doing opening day. I'm excited about that, and I think depending on how good this comes off, I think they should continue doing that. Just one game.
Yeah, I'm not
on
mad
Wednesday.
at it. I'm not mad at it.
And then, so my other question was Skeens. Do you keep him in small market, or do you find a big market for him to better use him?
Yeah,
I think that's the word I want to
You
use.
tell me.
I think it's up to him, right? Like, if he wants to leave Pittsburgh when he gets to free agency, if he wants to leave Pittsburgh, he should leave Pittsburgh. Do I think that he needs to be in New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, or LA to be Paul Skeens? Absolutely not. I think.
Well, no, but do you think
He's
because
extremely popular now.
I mean, he has he would have had one of the best records, but his team kept losing. So, do you take him out of a small market and put him in a big market to get the best out of him because he is Paul Skeens, or do you keep him in a small market and build around him and try to bring a title or ring to that small market, or at least make that small market team desirable?
So, I mean, there's two things there, right? So, if I'm Pittsburgh, if I'm the Pirates organization, I'm going to do as much as I can, as long as I can, to keep Paul Skeens, extend Paul Skeens, make sure that he's happy, right? That's what the organization should do, and that's what they should try to do. If I'm Paul Skeens, I'm probably not going to sign an extension, right? No matter how good I am, because when I get to free agency, I know I'm going to get a ton of money thrown at me from bigger organizations that can pay more money. So it really is up to what Paul Skeens wants to do. Now, and again, if you're on the organization side of this, if you're on the front office side of this, and he's not signing an extension, you're going to get to a point, very much like Juan Soto, right? You're going to get to a point where you're going to have to move off him. You're going to have to move off him when he gets closer to his free agency so you can get something in return. You can't let Paul Skeens walk for scot-free if he's not going to sign an extension. Now, if I'm Paul Skeens' agent and I'm advising Paul Skeens, there is no chance in your life that I'm going to get you to sign an extension. I'm going to tell you to hold out, because bigger money, no matter what happens, bigger money is coming. Now, the other side of this is, does he need to move to one of those markets to be a bigger star and a bigger household name? I don't think so. Not in this day and age. Does he need to do that to win more games? Probably. Does he need to do that to make more money? Absolutely. But does he need to do it to be like a bigger kind of national figure? No. I don't think so. I mean, the interesting thing, Paul Skeens is a fascinating person in general, because as good as a pitcher as he is and as popular as he is, he's going to be, I think, a 2-time Cy Young winner, and he's an all-star every year he's been in the league. His girlfriend's more popular than he is, like nationally. Livy Dunn's way more popular than Paul Skeens is on a national level. So it's interesting, and I think he likes it that way. Like, I think he wants it that way. He's not the type of guy that's gonna seek more attention than he needs. But yeah, that's what I would do. I think that. I think he ultimately leaves Pittsburgh? I think so. But I think it's because he's not going to sign an extension, and the organization's going to have to make an organizational decision. And we've seen this a couple times, right? We've seen it with Bryce Harper is a good example. Juan Sotos is a good example. These are guys where the market can't hold them, and smart agents and players are like, hey, look, this is, generational money you're going to have the opportunity to get.
Okay, wait. I have a follow-up question. Hold on, wait. I have a follow-up question.
Go ahead.
Okay, take money out of it. If he had to go somewhere or sign an extension this offseason, where would you send him, or what team would you have him on? If he had to make a move this December, either sign an extension or sign a new contract, take money out of it.
So basically, you're saying, just so I fully understand, you're asking if Paul Skeens could play on any team, what team would I want him to play on?
Yes.
Me, selfishly, I'm an Orioles fan. I'd want him on my team. But no, I mean.
But where is a good fit?
Look, he's so good. He really is that good. He's gonna fit anywhere. You put him anywhere, he's gonna fit. Where would he be the most successful? And kind of, you know what? I understand your question. You know what I'm gonna do, because he was so popular at LSU, right? I'm gonna put him in Atlanta. I think Atlanta, if he's a ace pitcher for Atlanta, I think that fan base loves pitching. Obviously, history repeats that. They were bad this year. They're gonna be good. This year was for Atlanta. This was an anomaly, a one-off. I don't think they're going to be bad again. I think they got a lot of talent there. But yeah, if you put Paul Skeens in Atlanta, he's going to own the whole South. So
I'm not mad at that. I actually like that. Like that. Like, he needs to consider Atlanta. Like, hey, Atlanta, y'all need to start doing your homework. That might actually work for y'all.
Yeah,
I know a couple Braves fans that would really love that.
Yeah, I mean,
especially since one of them is an LSU fan too. So.
But that under that scenario, what's going to happen? Like I said, if he doesn't sign an extension, he won't have a choice. What the Pirates are going to do is they're going to look at what team is going to give them the biggest return, right? Who's going to get the most prospects, and they're going to trade him to that team. He's not going to extend. He's probably going to let his free agency come out, and then he's going to sign wherever he signs.
I was going to say it'd probably be either Atlanta or Houston that would do that, because Houston's got a lot of prospects, and Atlanta can shell out the money and players for him.
I don't know where Skeens is from. Skeens went to Air Force before he transferred to LSU, but I don't know where he's from. But yeah, there's a big LSU fan base that would support him.
All right, guys, we're gonna let Cheese get out of here in just a minute. I see we got 2 more questions. I got one, Bobby got one, and then he's got to go. Bobby, get it off, bro.
Yeah, mine's
he's from California.
Okay, California.
But first, Whit, if you don't get rid of that zesty ass Jalen Ramsey joint, I swear I'm on the plane to Jacksonville. We're gonna fight for real. Jeez. Just real quick.
He took Jalen Ramsey just catching strays.
Real safe. All the time.
There you go, Cheese. How versed are you with the Negro Leagues?
Very.
All right. Are you familiar with George Mule Suttles?
Yeah.
Right. Just shout out. That's my great uncle, man.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. What I will say is the Bob Kendrick, who runs the museum, is yeah, one. I mean, he is obviously a tremendous person. I think I call him the best living storyteller. He will tell you that it's Buck O'Neil is the best storyteller of he's ever been around. And Buck obviously passed. Bob spent a lot of time with Buck O'Neil.
Yeah.
When I was able to meet Bob Kendrick and spend time around him, and I've done it now on a couple of occasions. You really do just sit. If you ever played MLB The Show,
Yeah.
they've got the Negro League storylines now, and you hear Bob telling these
Right.
stories.
Yeah.
Like literally, if you're sitting in front of him, that's exactly how he tells these stories. They're fantastic.
Nice.
He's one of the most captivating people of all time. But just to answer too, I mean, I started like most black baseball kind of fans, and then if you get a little bit more serious into it, you kind of start with the Negro Leagues, and then you kind of advance yourself. One of the things that we do with a mixtape, and one of the things I was really dedicated to do, was to try to give our community current baseball news, because nothing frustrates me more. And again, I love the Negro Leagues. I love Jackie. I love all those stories. But
Yeah.
it frustrates me when my son's 10 years old. He's about to be 11 in 2 weeks.
Okay.
If he Googles black baseball, the first thing he's going to see is the Negro Leagues. And I'm like, he's 11. He wants to know who's playing now. He wants to know who's hot, who's doing the clips. And that's one of the reasons I started the platform that we started, because I was looking at my son's phone. My son's a baseball player. I was looking at his tablet, and he's only seeing basketball highlights, football highlights, boxing highlights. And I was like, well, you're a baseball player. Where are your baseball highlights? And he's like, there's none. Like, there are none. And I was like, word. And we tried to work on building a platform that would allow people that are interested in baseball to learn and see who's playing now. Who are the people that you want to root for today? And you ask a lot of folks, you still ask kids today, and I trip off of this, but you ask kids today, you'll go to a Little League and be like, man, who's your favorite player? And they'll tell you Barry Bonds or Ken Griffey Jr. or Frank Thomas. And I'm like, bro, you're 10. You've never seen any of these people play. Like, who's your favorite player now? Like, they're just kind of making up stuff or looking at highlights. You know what I mean? Looking at highlights. Yeah. And it's like, no, I want them to know who Lawrence Butler is and James Wood and Hunter Green. I want them to know our people that are playing now. And so that's important. The other thing I'll say is, which is really, I think, an educational. One of the things when the game kind of went away from our community and our community went away from the game, there was a big gap in education there. And so, and what I mean by that is, like, you ask people my age who their favorite players are, and it's still Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds, Frank Thomas. Derek Jeter was kind of like the last of the Mohicans, right? But there's a whole wave of players that are playing today that are like people that are my age and in their 40s and things like that. They don't even know. So one of the things I do try to do is, pick a team and try to tell them who the black players are on the team, or the black player if they have one.
Right.
And I want our community to be able to tell their kids, like, yo, no, look at Mike Harris in Atlanta. He's a starting center fielder, rookie of the year. He's a guy that you want to root for. Look at Will Benson in Cincinnati, or find these players on the national, CJ Abrams, or like we have some players we can root for. And I think a lot of our community, they say, oh, there's not enough of us on the field, so I'm not gonna figure it out. And so we got to do our part. I'm trying to do my best to introduce who Joe Adele is, who plays for the Angels, who Byron Buxton is, who plays for, here, look at these highlights. This guy's really good. He plays center field. If your son plays center field, you should root for him. And that's part of the process.
And one more.
That's actually how I found you. You did a story on Aaron Judge a couple seasons ago, and you popped up in my feed, and I followed you just off of that because you told us about black baseball players, and that's big for me.
Yeah, Aaron Judge is a interesting example, but everybody should know who Aaron Judge is, right? Like, everybody, should know these guys and know these players. And Mookie Betts, everybody should know who Mookie Betts is and how good they are. And I do think that a little bit of it in our community is almost like you hate to use the word lazy, but they don't want to really know if they don't already know. So it's like, unless you can really deliver it to them in a way that for people to understand it and make it acceptable and cool. And again, baseball has a big problem with this. Like, it tickles me to death that we were just talking in our group chat. They got Pharrell for the playoff commercial. Like they've got Pharrell Williams, and he's doing the MLB playoff commercial. Like, they're trying to do things. They just got, Fear of God did the whole big MLB Fear of God drop, and it's fantastic. So they're trying to do things that get us at least closer to our community, connect with culture. And some of it, honestly, some of it's a hit. It's baseball, so some of it may come off inauthentic, right? Like, that's the truth. And I think what people often forget is how much the NBA struggled with connecting to culture back when, it was like when the Iversons and the Mellos and all those came in. The NBA didn't know what to do. They were getting it wrong all the time. And then it wound up being kind of the community and the people that was like, oh no, Marbury, Iverson, Mello, these are our guys. And then the NBA, like, to David Stern's credit and those guys, they went along with what the community and the crowd and the money and the audience was already saying. This is what's gonna, this is inevitable, right? I think baseball is gonna be just because our numbers are so low in the sport, it's going to be harder. But we have to let our community know that they are players playing. A lot of those players that are playing high level baseball are great role models. They're great. They're great people, and they should be, rooted for and supported. So,
I say, Whit's gonna freaking hate me, but
know.
because since we're on Negro leagues, now a lot of people penalize the players of the steroid era for obvious reasons. So, do you personally penalize players when black players didn't play? Do you penalize those players because they never played against the great black players?
You mean, all right? So, well, first of all, I will answer your question, but I will not be doing myself justice. I have died on this hill. All of the guys from the steroid era should be in the Hall of Fame. The ones that have the numbers to be in the Hall of Fame, they should be in the Hall of Fame.
Sure.
I believe Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. I believe Roger Clemens should be in the Hall of Fame. I believe A-Rod should be in the Hall of Fame. Palmeiro, I think they all should be in the Hall of Fame if they have the numbers, because that's what they were dealing with at the time.
Right.
And there's people that are in, right, that probably shouldn't be in. It was kind of like who got caught, right?
Yeah, sure.
So I'll say that before integration, the people that are playing in the Negro Leagues, a lot of them have gotten in the Hall of Fame. They did that Negro League committee. Bob was a part of that, and a lot of them have gotten inducted. Do I think Babe Ruth is not as good because he didn't play against black players in their prime? Like, he never had a regular season where he really had to face Satchel Paige a lot, or ever, right? I think yes. I think some of the players that are white all-stars before integration, if they were playing in the Negro Leagues, would not be all-stars. I think a lot of the Negro League players before, 47, 48, 49, like, instantly when they came over, they became all-stars. They became, really, really good players in the league. Now and again, they were able to cherry pick the best players, so they were going to come in and be good. So there was some course correction there. But yeah, I think that, you have to acknowledge that there were two different leagues and they did not integrate. And both of those leagues had tremendous players. And I would not, I would just make that a caveat. And I also feel like I think there's some white players that could go over in the Negro Leagues and be really good players. I think there are more good Negro League players that would be able to go over in the white league and be good players. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
Wow, man, it's amazing that we got through this first hour, Chiefs, with you. This is it. I'm gonna lock it in, and I appreciate you hanging out for a little bit extra time.
All good. No. I'm good. I'm good.
All right, so this was it, and this was we kind of got a little bit of where I wanted to. I had a Negro League question. Thank you so much, Bobby. Never mind.
Well, did we answer it? Because I can answer it if you have it.
No. In reality, I think the time last year when me and Jay got a chance to talk to you, we were having the conversation of what was going to happen when they did the induction, and then it kind of just we never got to revisit it. So thank you, Bobby. In real life, he did great with that question. So this right now, of course, postseason's happening. Awards are going to go out right now. Thinking about the National League, thinking about the American League, right? Okay, if you just talk about the National League, right? Shohei playing both sides, pitching and his batting average stuff right now going for 287 as
Yeah.
that's 7 as an ERA is kind of good. I think some of those games were lost, unfortunately, based around what was happening when he did who they were playing. But if there was another candidate for at least just the national, like or is it just you just gotta give it to Shohei just because of him playing both sides?
No, it's not even that he's just playing both sides. It's you got to give it to Shohei because he is the best player in baseball, and he is dominant on pretty much both sides.
Can you say
Shohei
that
is
one more time? I don't think April heard you.
what's that?
It's like, can you say that one more time? I don't think April heard you.
Shohei Ohtani is the best player in baseball. Period. And I understand what like Shohei Ohtani is something that people like. I talk to a lot of baseball players. I talk to a lot of retired baseball players. I talk to a lot of Hall of Fame baseball players, and they will tell you Shohei is different, man. Like Shohei is somebody, the way that he has been able to come in the league, the way he's been able to pitch, the way he's been able to hit, sometimes doing it in the same game. He is just different. And it is amazing to see. We should take it all in because he is absolutely fantastic. And I think some people would say like, well, such and such could have pitched and hit if they let such and such do it. Well, look, here's the reality. Like, we can't actually operate in woulda, coulda, shoulda beens, right? Shohei Ohtani's doing it and has been doing it. And nobody's been doing it at his level since Babe Ruth, and Shohei's probably better than that, right? So I just get, dude is absolutely amazing. With that said, to answer your question, there will be people that will try to make. I think it was probably up to like the last 2 weeks of the season they would have tried to make a Cal Schwarber argument. Now, and you were talking about Shohei playing both sides. Schwarber is actually just a DH. He doesn't even play in the field. But they would have made a Cal Schwarber argument because of the amount of offense he produced for the Phillies. He's had a phenomenal season. He's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. He's going to get a ton of money and well deserved. But if anybody's even in the conversation, and this should not be a conversation, it would be Schwarber. He's going to finish second. Ohtani will finish first in the National League MVP voting.
Man, okay. Well, I think we ran the gamut on that one, bro. In real life, y'all know what time it is, man. It's your boy K Wich. I was a one draft pick. This is the Rec Room Sports Hub. We are talking to Keats from Black Baseball Mixtape. Make sure you take some time out your busy day, ladies and gentlemen. Find him on Instagram. Make sure you lock in. The content is great. The shorts are great. The conversations. What you say? Like once a week on Mondays, you guys do another.
We do a live podcast on Mondays, and then we usually do a podcast on Thursday nights as well. Yeah.
Okay, so make sure you lock in for those Mondays and those Thursday nights. I'm there sometimes in the cut just listening for information because I just like to pick up small tidbits and use them in conversations. But man, Cheats in real life, bro. I appreciate you. I had a time limit on my thought process because I know it's late because you're with me, but bro, like this was phenomenal, man. I can't ask you for anything else this year.
Anytime.
But I really appreciate it. So thanks again. Anytime you want to come to the Rec Room, if something happens, when we get closer to the World Series, April will probably blow up my DM and say, ask if you're busy. So please, sir, if you feel at any time, you're more than welcome to come through. Especially and Jay's going to come back. So whenever Jay's gets back from making our gentlemen's club polls and mirrors align properly, Jay will probably want you back as well. So thanks again, man. Once again, everybody, this is Cheats from Black Baseball Mix.
Thank y'all. Have a good evening.
What do we do? You just gonna end the show now. I don't.
Y'all gonna stop putting words in my mouth.
Yes, man. We will stop putting words in your mouth. But yeah, like we said, everybody, this is the Rec Room Sports Hour. We are way into the second hour. Normally, had done this, so we're just gonna kind of run it right now. Thank you once again to Cheats for locking us in for literally an entire hour of great baseball knowledge. We talk Negro League, we talk AL, we talk NL. We talked about. We had Jerry call in. Shout out to Jerry from Dallas calling in. This was a great show so far, but we got so much more to cover. So we might as well go ahead and get into it, y'all. We've had some conversations about some things. Last week we began the conversation about the NCAA and college football, but once again we have to revisit it. College football is taking off. We're getting to the point where we're going to start realizing who is who and what is what. And I'm talking about the SEC. I'm talking about the ACC. These games are starting to matter, ladies and gentlemen. Conference play is in full effect, and if your team ain't winning against these conference opponents, I don't know how you going. I don't care if you make the playoff 20 people, okay, 20 teams. They're not going to be in there. So right now we got
Auburn.
So right now, man, we're gonna kick it to our guy AP. That's right, Alan Perales with that Gimme 5. All right, Alan's Gimme 5. Go ahead and tell us the top 5 things to know in NCAA college football. Alan, this is all you, bro.
All right, so first and foremost, there's a reason why I love Virginia's upset of Florida State. Not only was it a great football environment, not only was it a phenomenal game overall, it just reminds me and it reminds a lot of people of why they love college football. It is such a spectacular thing. It is a spectacular sport. To me, it is the closest thing we in the States have to European soccer as far as fan participation, as far as, tradition and what have you. And yes, I know field stormings can be dangerous. I don't know if we've heard what happened to the Florida State wide receiver after that game, but I get it. You're going to find people. I get it. It's going to happen. But you got to realize fans are not going to stop because it's part of tradition. It's part of what people want to have in college football. So it's going to keep going. And to me, Virginia's win kind of symbolizes why we love college football so much. So looking at this, originally this was just going to be for the group of 5 teams, but I think, looking at the conferences as a whole, you've got some dark horse teams within college football that could make a lot of noise still within their respective conferences. We saw what Mississippi State did at home against Tennessee, fought tooth and nail, went to overtime in that game. I still think they're going to be a tough out. Vanderbilt as well in the SEC. Illinois and Indiana, both in the Big Ten, are still going to be tough outs. Indiana's going to have a tough test in a couple of weeks when they go to Eugene to play Oregon. We'll get to the American Conference here in a minute, but there's a lot of good teams in that conference. Big 12, I still think Baylor's going to be a scrappy team in that conference. I know a lot of people are on Texas Tech right now. A lot of people have seen BYU get elevated up there, but Baylor's still going to fight in that conference. Virginia just proved that they're going to be a dark horse in the ACC this year after their win at home against Florida State. A lot of good games left to be played. As far as the American Conference, I got to share this because this conference is going to be a fun conference. I know you're probably only going to get one team in the playoff with this. There's a reason why so many analysts, so many podcasters are saying that the American could get 2 teams in, because you look at these teams right now, Navy's undefeated, Memphis undefeated, North Texas undefeated. Tulane's only 4-1. South Florida's 3-1, but they were off last week. This is going to be a very competitive American Conference. It's going to be fun to watch. If you love college football, this is definitely the conference for you this year, because there's going to be a lot of competitive games within this conference. And speaking of the group of 5, what the hell is going on with Liberty right now? This team for the last 3 years was a group of 5 powerhouse. This was a team that had chance after chance after chance of getting to that group of 5 slot into the college football playoff last year. Had a potential to get it last year, if not for Boise State. And the last couple of years that I believe they had a BCS bowl a couple of years ago but got blown out. But they've just kind of fallen flat. They're awful. They're awful this year. It is a shell of what that program was. I would say it's almost like Oklahoma State, but Oklahoma State has had a generational fall off the last couple of years. So, it's not looking good for Liberty right now. And then, of course, this is the time of the year where we start talking about coaching hot seats. I mean, we already have one coach fired. Sam Pittman was let go in Arkansas. Welcome back, Bobby Petrino. If anybody's a fan of Bobby Petrino, you've got a couple. There's a couple though that I want to highlight. First is Kalen DeBoer. I think he kind of cooled that seat off a little bit with the win in Georgia this weekend. There's still a lot of Alabama fans that really don't want him there, but if he gets another couple good wins on his resume, I think he's going to save his job at least for another year. But the question I got to ask, and I'm glad Avril's here too, because I want to ask about James Franklin. When is enough going to be enough? Because you see the stats, you see how he coaches in big games. He's only won 1 game in the top 5. He's only won 4 games against Ohio State and Michigan. I'm sure the fan base in Penn State is getting restless because that they just have not found a way to win big games. And this was the team. They had the team. They have the makeup to make a run this year. But if he doesn't get it done, if they can't win the big games, is it time to send James Franklin on his way, or are we giving him at least another year?
You want me to be honest, or you want me to be nice?
I don't care.
Pick one.
You tell me.
Be honest. Be honest.
Okay. Honest, he would have been locked out of his office after that second overtime. He would have walked back to his office after second overtime, and he would have been locked out. All of his stuff would have been in a box if it was up to me. There is no reason why you lose a whiteout at home in Happy Valley in double overtime. What? Make it make sense. So, no, if it was up to me, he would be gone now. His days are numbered. I say by the end of the season, if
you can't beat Ohio State or Michigan, he's out, right?
If they don't actually make a decent run in the playoffs, he's done. They actually have to and win good games, not like the blowout games like last year, and then struggle in the tough games. He actually has to go and win good games in the playoffs. I'm not saying he has to make it to the national championship, but if we get into the playoffs and it's a good game, not a blowout, but an actual good game, and he does not win, he's done. There is no excuse at this point.
Yeah.
But me personally, and I love him. I love him to death, and I've had his back for years. But after that double overtime, I was done. I was done.
Yep. There's always going to be that stigma that follows him with that from now on. Whenever he's in that big game, because now you've got, like I mentioned earlier, you got Indiana and Illinois, who are both good teams now, coming up in the conference, and even Nebraska can give you a headache. So if you can't beat those teams, yeah, you're definitely out. You should be out.
Alan, let me
Yeah,
piggyback on what April
and
said.
them only dropping us to 7th was very generous. I just knew we were out of the top 10. So the fact that they're still even in the top 10 and they're at number 7 is very, very, very generous. Because,
Yeah, let me
that
piggyback
disastrous
on what
play on Saturday, you don't deserve to be in the top 10 with that. I'm sorry, you don't. And I love that team. Penn State, we are till I die. But y'all don't deserve to be in the top 10. I'm sorry. That was just.
I mean, he's 1-10. He's 1-10 at
Yeah.
Penn State against top 10 teams. He's 17-34 in his career against top 10s. He can't beat a top 10 team. What is he going to do in the playoffs? I mean, James Franklin is the root of all Penn State's problems right now. I agree with April. He needs to go. I mean, sooner rather than later. He just is the problem at Penn State right now. And it's not going to get any better because he either gets too conservative or he just says, oh, yeah, that's right, I'm playing a top 10 team. He's got to be done at Penn State. He can't win a big game. He just can't.
Yeah. It's rough. It's rough. It's like I said, especially with now you've got teams coming up in the conference that are starting to get better around them with Illinois, Indiana. I guess you can kind of throw Nebraska in there a little bit. But if you can't win some of these big games that you're supposed to be winning, because a lot of people had them being not only in the playoff, deep in the playoff, but potentially winning the title altogether.
Hello,
Yeah.
that'd be me. I mean, they got a great running back duo. Drew Al has been in that system for his whole college career. They have everything they want right now, a solid defense, but they have James Franklin as a head coach. He can't win it. He can't win the big game, and that's the problem at Penn State.
So I'm gonna say something, and this was brought up in our group chat earlier. So I'm gonna say something. I think that there has been really, really good supporting cast around Drew Aller that makes him look a little bit better than what he actually is.
Agreed.
I like him, but I don't love him. I love Lenora Sellers. Like, if something was to happen to Lenora Sellers, I'd give him a body part. I wouldn't give Drew Aller a body part. The supporting cast around Drew Aller is really, really, really good. And I think that's overlooked. Jets, don't draft him.
April, is he the number one quarterback drafted in 2026, or do you think he's not? Or he shouldn't?
No. God, no. Please don't.
Okay.
Please don't.
Me personally, Scott. Me personally, Scott. He's not even top 10.
No, listen.
That's
I agree with you guys.
No. And I love that team. So it's for me to come out and say this. Yeah.
Like right now, even with the broken thumb, I take John Mateer over Drew Aller.
It's just tough, and April can answer this. When you go into a big game like Oregon and Ohio State, it's really tough figuring a way for Penn State to win the game because of who you got as a coach. I mean, they're playing in Ohio State in 2 or 3 weeks out, April, I think. They're coming up quick. And
yeah, I have not been looking at that schedule. I've been focused more on Carolina's schedule because we play Alabama. So I have not really been looking at Penn State's schedule. But I know they do have Ohio State coming up. I don't know which week. I know we don't play Michigan this year. We only play Ohio State. And I know that's coming up.
Right. So, I mean, you got to go into that game thinking they're going to lose because Ohio State's really good. So,
is that one in Ohio, or is it in Pennsylvania this year?
That I don't know.
I can
Alan,
look
do you
that
know?
up real quick. I can look that up real quick.
I'm pulling it up while you're talking, Scott. I'm pulling it up.
Okay. But Yeah, Ohio State went to Washington and just totally defensively
It's at
dominated that
Ohio
game.
State. It's at Ohio State.
Okay.
Oh,
So that's there you go. That now Penn State's gonna have 2 losses. Even though the 2 losses were against top 10 teams, now you're on the border of getting a 7, 8, or 9 seed in the playoff, and that's no good.
And
That's
if you
just no
lose, if
good.
you lose to
So-
Indiana, at home too, that's not good either.
Your possibility you could be out of the playoff if you lose those 2
So,
games.
you know what Penn State? You know who Penn State is reminding me of right now? The Colts. The Colts kept playing mediocre teams or not good teams, and they were winning. And everybody's, oh my God, they're 3-0, they're this, they're that. Daniel Jones. Who does that remind you of? Penn State, 3-0. Drew Aller.
Yep.
Look what happened to Penn State. Look what happened to Colts. Just saying.
Yep.
saying.
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. Well, on that note, the craziest thing is that somehow, some way, there were some other games besides the Penn State whiteout we got to just talk about real quick. Like Texas and Oklahoma State, Texas 138 to Oklahoma State's 24. Texas remains undefeated in this aspect to build a strong resume for a top seed in the 12-team playoff. When Ewers threw for 4 touchdowns, that's
that was last year, Whit.
that's what I'm saying, but these were all old things that were happening last year around this same time. When Texas did that in Oklahoma State, we were in the whole team about what was going on with Texas. And now, where is Texas at this very point in time? What happened? We were talking number 1 seed. I might have prefaced it differently, but when it was happening in 2025, we were looking at Texas as if they're going to come into this year and take over with the expansion, right? Now, as I get a chance to look at it and see the floor for what it is, it's kind of messed up that the floor and I don't think has recovered from it. In my opinion, there's so much more that we were looking forward to seeing that kind of didn't happen. And I think it's to a degree because of a name like Arch Manning, being attached to a name like it being a big deal and having that whole, I don't want to say a fiasco, but having that whole campaign kind of for Arch Manning to be the best quarterback and all that kind of stuff like that happened, and then it to kind of dissolve. I think that kind of took a lot of the air out from the season at large. Not to say that we don't have a lot of football to play at this moment. That's for sure. There is a lot of football left, especially college football, and even and to me, it's still a little early, even for Heisman talks. I mean, Indiana's quarterback, is out here in the streets with Mendoza, right? Is that right, Mendoza?
Mm-hmm.
Mendoza's good. If I'm not mistaken, somewhere around like 13, 14 touchdowns right now. Alabama, they did just win a really tough game that they weren't thinking they were going to win. They found a way to beat Georgia.
I'm happy they won that game, but I need them to lose in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whenever we play them. But I'm happy they won that game. I am so happy they beat Georgia.
I think there's a chance they lose this week to Vandy. I think Vanderbilt can go in there and beat them.
I think Vandy might beat them too. Vandy is better than a lot of people think they are for no reason. It's scary.
We were burning, killing the boards at the stake. We were praising Vandy. Like, this college football season has turned itself kind of upside down. Carson Beck is at Miami, and is he the heir apparent? We don't know. Jeremiah Smith, an Ohio State wide receiver, is somewhere always in the conversation. So of course they got Jeremiah Smith this year. It's not quite yet written, and normally, and that's why my point was last year, this time 2025, we had it written who and what was going to be taking place. We kind of got, even with the expansion of the playoff, we kind of had a really good idea of what was going to happen. But now It's still a toss up. Clemson completely falling off of the map. Like there's so much to kind of be observant about going into the latter weeks of this college season. We're halfway there, and I'm excited to talk about it. But of course, you know how we do here at Rec Room, bro. We have to move on. So moving forward now, this one right here is sensitive to none other than Miss April, I believe, because this is one of her sports she keeps an eye on. And I'm excited to talk about this one for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know, but the WNBA playoffs are reaching the precipice. That's right. The point.
I can't talk right now. We got 22 seconds left and it's tied. I can't talk right now.
We're gonna go ahead and get it started. That's right, y'all. The WNBA postseason. I can smell champagne right now, ladies and gentlemen. A really, really heated semifinals series took place between the Phoenix Mercury and the Lynx, and wow, oh my goodness, it's much to cover. It looks like Miss Abrams stuck into the.
Who's gonna win the ball?
She said the last 22 seconds is that series. And then of course we got to keep our eye out for our agents in Las Vegas once again. Who are proclaiming as having the best player in the WNBA right now, and of course maybe one of the possible of all time, in Asia Wilson. Ms. April, is it over? What happened? Can you give us a
No. Jackie held the ball, and Jackie didn't pass the ball. And so when they finally shot, she missed the shot, and now we're in overtime because you wasted 10 seconds.
Oh goodness! And this game is between who? You have to give us context.
Fever and Aces, Indiana and Vegas.
Aces versus Fever. And I think Aaliyah Boston fouled out. I think at like 50-something seconds left. I think she fouled. I haven't muted and I don't have the captions on, so I'm trying to listen.
You trying to listen.
Or I'm trying to watch.
Right.
I'm trying to watch.
Right. See, look, but y'all know what it is, man. The WNBA semifinals is the best of 5 right now. The series is tied at 2.
It's going to overtime.
Yeah, it's going to OT right now.
Yes, in overtime.
This is one of those ones, man. The future and the present, both on the court at the same time. No Caitlin Clark. Just imagine if Caitlin Clark was there, how much, this game would be meaning to all of these women. This is one of those times where I wish we didn't have to show on so I can watch it. But if you don't know, if you're living under a rock, this has been one hell of a ride for both teams as the Aces went down and then back up this season. I think on a 14-game win streak, and then the Caitlin Clark saga has been happening with Fever somehow, some way. We got an opportunity. Them rise to the occasion. Took herself out for the remainder of the season after repeated groin injuries, and this right here is what we talk about when it comes to the WNBA. These games are crucial. They mean something. They are exciting. I want to have my eyes on it, but right now I'm talking with you.
Don't criticize the officials. You'll get suspended. Don't criticize them.
We're gonna get.
I love how all the coaches, whether they were winning or losing, came out and said something about how bad the officiating is. Because the commissioner had the nerve to say, "Oh, it's only when they're losing that they complain." No, coaches that are winning, coaches that are in the playoffs, coaches that are in the finals are complaining about the officiating.
Yep. How do you suspend a coach in the playoffs just for criticizing the officials? How do you do that? I mean, that is ridiculous.
I saw a meme earlier where because I was watching Nafija's press conference and I saw a meme as I was listening to it, and it was like all Kathy does is go through and pick out which fine she's going to give out that day.
It's This is one of those playoff series where, of course, last year with the WNBA we had a lot to kind of lock our eyes in on. There was a lot of eye candy, so to speak. With the New York Liberty being involved, Caitlin Clark's season, kind of how it was happening. This one right here was a little bit unexpected. Now, I'm not saying that you can't look at the season for the Phoenix Mercury and the Minnesota Lynx and figure that one of these two teams would have made it this far. But for me, the story will be what is going to happen with the Phoenix Mercury when they finally meet whoever they will play in this game, as they did put out the Lynx 3-1. Because remember, this roster was constructed in order to kind of hold together what was once the the Phoenix Mercury roster that was in title contention from year to year. Satu Sabale, Dewana Bonner's on here. We can't forget about, of course, Alyssa Thomas, who is the triple double machine right now, and Sammy Whitcomb is another one. This is somehow been constructed and manufactured to put up a fight against a team like either the Indiana people or the Aces. Guys, as we kind of get a better picture of what's happening, because we're gonna let Miss Avery watch the game. We're not gonna get all the way through the overtime period because we're gonna have to move on. But which matchup do we think is better for the Mercury as they're moving on? Do we think that it's a better matchup for if they play the Indiana Fever, or if they play the Las Vegas Aces? Bobby, you out there in Vegas? How you feel about it?
They don't want to see us, man. We get by this game.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
Like kill the giant while you got him down. You don't want them to get back there, get that feeling again. They got experience. They know what it takes to bring that trophy home. So you don't want to face a team like that. Even though Indiana's really hot right now. They're got hot at the right time. They are where they are, and they don't even have their quote unquote, best player. So they got that confidence going. But it's easy to kill confidence, you know. Confidence turns to concern real quick when you get down the game. So
I mean, Whit, look at the regular season. The Aces were down and out at one point.
Yeah.
Everybody was writing them off. They were done. That's it. They're gonna have to do something, and they just reeled off that long winning streak. They don't want to see the Aces in the finals.
yeah.
Phoenix does not want to see them in the finals.
What did Rudy T say? Never underestimate the heart of a champion.
That's right. That's right. Asia Wilson's gonna take that team on her back and win a title.
Yeah, literally. I'll say this: if the Indiana Fever were to, and this is another somewhat of, I'm posing another question to the panel. Of course, Alan, you can chime in. Thank you, Scott, for being in the building. Of course, if the Indiana Fever were to reach the WNBA Finals without Caitlin Clark, is this an indictment on the Fever being a really good team and not knowing it? Because remember now, they was looking rather modest. They were looking like a really modest team at the beginning of the season, even with Caitlin Clark. Without Caitlin Clark, this is kind of a bit of a turnaround. So is this an indictment on them being really good and us not knowing it, or just rising to the occasion because they kind of had to? Everybody's looking for Caitlin, but they're doing it without her. They still got Aaliyah Boston. That's the main thing.
So Sophie Cunningham was important to that team too when she played.
There we go. That's another thing.
Yeah. So you're missing two of your 5 starters, so to speak, 2 of your 6 or 7 top players.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a thing that everybody wrote Indiana off. The players said, "Hey, let's show them what we're made of," and they get on a roll. We're not just Caitlin Clark. We got other players on this team, and they're the hot team right now, as Bobby said. And when you're a hot team in the playoffs, you're hard to stop. So I mean, look at this is series has gone extended. Indiana in Las Vegas has gone to the last game. And it's in overtime. So to me, Indiana's the hot team, but again, Las Vegas is the heart of the champion. You don't want to see them. You don't. If I'm Phoenix, I do not want to see Las Vegas. So, I mean, that's where I'm at on it.
Me personally, I wouldn't want to see either team if I'm on Phoenix, because again, like you guys are saying, you don't want to face the hot team, and both of these teams, both the Aces and the Fever, are both hot right now. So it's going to be an uphill battle either way. But if I had to pick between the two, I agree with Bobby and Scott. I would not want to face the Aces because they have that championship pedigree and they know how to get it done in the postseason. So that would be the team that if I'm having to face them in a 5-game finals, it's probably not going to work out.
I mean, y'all
Yeah,
say,
I agree.
yeah, with the two hottest teams in the league going into the finals, smelling the championship. You know what I mean? Like I've heard I've heard from players. They can you can kind of feel with your name on it by like the second or third game. Kind of feel the champagne bottles on ice around the corner waiting on you. And I can't imagine what that must be like for someone like Asia Wilson. I can't imagine what that would be like for someone like Boston who has not won one yet. And is the equivalent of the somewhat of an heir apparent in ways, being that he followed right behind Asia with her dominance at Carolina. So I really don't think this is a good matchup for the Mercury defensively. They can try to maintain as much of the perimeter defense as possible. When it comes to the interior with either team, with Alita or Asia, I think the Mercury would be remiss to play that. They're gonna have to. Satu Sabale is gonna have to do something, but it's gonna be a tough matchup either way, in my opinion. Now, Miss Avery, what was you?
And then I know everybody loves Caitlin Clark, and she was number one pick for the Fever, but a lot of people forget Kelsey Mitchell was the number 2 draft pick. She plays for the Fever. Aaliyah Boston, number 1 draft pick, plays for Fever. So the fact that they're in this, it led to a game 5, and they're doing as well without Caitlin. The Mercury should be very, very worried. Very worried. Even if it's not the Aces, they should still be worried.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And the funny thing is, in right now, there are other people in the WNBA that need to be worried. As Nafisa Collier sets the WNBA leadership on fire, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you've been living under a rock for the past 24 to 48 hours, maybe even 72, because if you did not know, in game 3 of the WNBA semifinals, Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve was ejected after a fiery on-court outburst and launched into an expletive-laced tirade against the league's officiating. The incident occurred on the 26th during a loss to the Phoenix Mercury, where if you did not see it, what was going on was Alyssa Thomas and Nafisa Collier were both going for a rebound. I don't think it was a dirty play. I think it was a play. I think it was a dirty play. I think it was a veteran play where Alyssa Thomas, used her body to engage in blocking Nafisa Collier from retrieving a loose ball. Bobby, as a sports connoisseur, we have seen similar plays on both the male and female side on numerous occasions. But it just so happens that this was a very heated battle, and it was really poor timing for the Lynx to lose, for the play to happen, and then to result in the Lynx losing their star player, who, in my opinion, if Asia Wilson was not the MVP, we will be talking about Nafisa Collier. Then from that point, right, the Mercury go on to win the series 3-1, like we say, but somehow somebody put a microphone in front of Nafisa Collier, and she's this. We're going to kind of just thank you, Bobby G, for the backgrounds for these two as well.
Yeah. That's what she said. That's Engelbert's response to what she said.
Right. Yeah. This is the commissioner's response to what Nafisa has said, and the idea is that Nafisa's outburst. Well, I don't even want to call it an outburst. I want to say Nafisa's comments accused, not had some harsh and scathing critiques of WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert during the end of the season. This is what they call the exit interview. Some of the key things that Nafisa mentioned was that this was the worst leadership in the world. We have the best players in the world. We have the best fans in the world. But right now, we have the worst leadership in the world. A very dismissive attitude towards player compensation, which, if you don't know, these players, a lot of them, these contracts are coming up right now as the season ends, and they will try to renegotiate these TV rights. The possibility that we can use ourselves into a lockout. So once again, the FISA goes. She claimed Engelbert told her that Caitlin Clark, or just says Caitlin, and the understood part is Clark, and this is a quote, should be grateful that she makes $16 million off the court because without the platform of the WNBA that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. Another thing she cited was the lack of accountability for officiating. Collier said Engelbert brushed off officiating concerns by saying only losers blame referees. The tone deaf leadership is what something else she cited. She accused Engelbert of saying players should be on their knees, thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal. I got them. I don't know what. I don't know where we're going with this one, but it's getting. Trust me, y'all, it gets worse. And then of course the suspension of free speech. Collier expressed frustration over fines levied against players and coaches who speak out, saying our leadership's answer to being held accountable is to suppress everyone's voices by handing out fines. And what she's saying is that being that these players aren't fairly compensated or as fairly compensated as their male counterparts, some of the women are very hesitant to speak out against the things that they have discretions about when it comes to leadership and referees and so on and so forth, because the levying of fines for some of these women is detrimental. Taking a quarter of someone's paycheck just for having an opinion on a sport that they risk their bodies on is a big deal. And I definitely can see why that would be something that is brought up. But in the end, Engelbert responded by saying she was disheartened by how Collier characterized their conversations, but reaffirmed her commitment to the league and its players. Players like Angel Reese, Lexi Hall, Elena Deladon publicly supported Collier's statement, amplifying her message across social media. This controversy comes weeks before the collective bargaining agreement expires. Notice those words, ladies and gentlemen, collective bargaining agreement, which means they have to agree as a collective. Okay, this adds to the tension that already is critical to the negotiation. And if you take that into context, this this moment could lead to sparking the interest of the players to succeed in a lockout for the WNBA 2026 season. I am a full proponent for players having their rights. I'm a big proponent for what has been going on in the WNBA. If y'all have been paying attention to the show, I miss the WNBA. I want to talk about the players. I want to talk about the scores, but I also want to talk about the development, which is what can we do for the compensation of these women, because it's on the TV deal has been renegotiated. It's millions of dollars on the table. Some of that money needs to go to the players. Guys, in your opinion, real quick, because we're getting closer to the top of the second hour, we're gonna have to keep it running. This is a big deal, and are we smelling the lockout in the future for the WNBA?
I
it was
think as long
already
as Kathy
inevitable.
is in charge, there's going to be a lockout. I don't think that they come to an agreement. Not with her. Even if the money wasn't there, or all the other things that they were asking for wasn't there, as long as Kathy is still the commissioner, I don't think there's an agreement, just because of everything that has happened this season. I don't think there's an agreement with her. I think she has to step down for it to avoid being a lockout. And if she doesn't step down, I think there absolutely will be a lockout. But even with her stepping down, there are some serious things that they need to address. And I think the sides are too far apart. I see a lockout happening. I'm like 98% at a lockout's going to happen at this point, especially after what happened today.
Yeah. I think Bobby G stepped away. Alan, what do you think? Are we getting closer and closer to a lockout?
I think even before this happened today, it was inevitable that they were headed to a lockout because, like you said, Averill, they're nowhere near close to making an agreement with on any subject, on any situation. This just all but confirmed. Yeah, we're going to have a lockout next year, and there's nothing that we can do about it. So, I think it's 100% chance in my book. I think it's definitely going to happen now after what happened today. A lot of players are like you said, they're tired of the in this league. I mean, you rarely ever see other leagues, like commissioners in other leagues or head figures in other leagues, act in a way like this, finding players for verbal opinions and what have you. You wouldn't see Roger Goodell do it. You wouldn't see Rob Manfred do it. You wouldn't see, I don't know, Adam Silver do it. You really wouldn't see. The NCAA SEC maybe, but that's a stretch. But yeah, you wouldn't see any kind of commissioner do this at all. So yeah, the lockout's happening. We all know it is, and yeah, it's not going to be pretty for the WNBA next year. It's not going to be pretty at all.
I honestly think if Asia and Caitlin were in Unrivaled within 3 years, Unrivaled would take over the WNBA if they were in it. But they're not in it, and I know Unrivaled is expanding, but I feel like if those two players alone were to go to Unrivaled, the WNBA would be non-existent, and Unrivaled would be the new WNBA, and it would be so much better.
I hear you, and that would be a tough sell because it's 3-on-3 basketball, but I think that it could compete more is a better idea. The competition of marketing value and things like that will go up. Bobby G, what you got to say about this lockout, sir?
Woo! That's what I got to say. We back. Damn the lockout. We going back for our chip. We coming back to get what's rightfully ours. Fever, you had a nice run. But take this lesson and you'll come back stronger next season.
If there is a season.
Mercury, get ready. As a matter of fact, y'all coming here. We're gonna be waiting for you. We're gonna be welcoming Friday night. The city gonna be lit. This could be one of the worst lockouts in the history of sports. If you hear what's going back and forth between the players and upper management, like the players are talking like they're fed up. They're completely fed up, and they're making it known that they're completely fed up. So this could be a very, very ugly situation. This could almost be league threatening.
Not league threatening, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, like the players literally established their own league. Like
the players were already pissed about the money.
Yeah, baseball players went on strike, they went home. NFL players went on strike, they went home. NBA players went on strike, they went home. It didn't even take a strike. The WNBA players literally just formed their own league and said, "We can do this."
the buds.
That's the luxury, like you said, Bobby. That's the luxury. That's good. That's a luxury that the WNBA players have that other leagues don't. Is that they have started their own league.
Yeah.
Football players have nowhere to go, and NBA players, you can go to Europe, but you're not going to have the same success. Baseball, there's nowhere really to go. You could probably go to other country leagues, but it's not going to be what the impact is in Major League Baseball. WNBA, you can go to Unrivaled, you can go to whatever else there is, and you could still be fine.
Man, you can go to the United Arab Emirates and play in Saudi Arabia, baby.
You can go play college softball if you want.
Look,
Yeah.
and listen, and like this is going to be a big deal. The playoffs are happening. The eyes will be on the platform. I wonder, like the MVP, if they win, I wonder if like the MVP will have a stance on the podium when all eyes will be on her about the exact subject. But I can't wait to see what happens as we are getting ready the finals of the Phoenix Mercury versus the Las Vegas Aces coming up, I think on Friday. Is that right, Bobby? Is it Friday?
Friday, game one. Yeah, Friday here in Vegas.
Game one Friday in Vegas. I can't wait. I don't got nothing going on Friday night. I'm gonna be watching that one. And then, of course, I can't wait to see what happens with the Unrivaled season as well as we move forward. So this is going to be a big deal. And big shouts out to Nafisa Collier for like showing the world, just like other people say in WWE. She's the man with this one. Straight up. Yeah, this was it. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say about it, but we got to keep it going. Y'all at the top of that second hour. We didn't get a chance to talk football, so we're gonna make it short. So this is the topic, y'all. Come on, let's get to it. Hold on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The fifth topic.
That's right, y'all. It's the fifth topic. So, man, week 4 of the NFL season can't get any more crazier than this. Can it get any more crazier than this? I don't know, because recently, if you have been living under a rock, there has been injuries, there have been second string quarterbacks. There's been all kinds of stuff going on in the NFL this NFL season, and for some reason, I feel like like a big boggle box, the yonder boggle with the letters. I feel like somebody shook up the boggle box and dropped it on the ground, and everything that went up is now down. We're looking at one of the worst starts for teams like the Baltimore Ravens, who are 1-3, who are normally they get some injuries in this midseason. They start off on the defensive side of the ball with stars on the IR. This is crazy, and we know that the love to hang their hat on their defensive side of the ball. Then, of course, Lamar is suffering from hamstring related injuries that are repeating to flare up right now. Derrick Henry is like Derrick Henry. Something's going on with the Baltimore Ravens, and I don't want to say that it's a coaching issue like the coach Harbaugh, but there has to be something. The season is not over. The season is still underway, but to see the Ravens come off of Lamar having an MVP season to what we're seeing right now in week 4, will have these 3 tough losses, string along in their season. I don't think we saw this coming, guys. What else is standing out to you, Bobby G, and as we look at the season thus far?
The major role that special teams is playing.
Oh yeah,
like, bro, I've never seen so many field goals and punts blocked, and just like special teams is making a major return to the game, and it's fun. It's making the entire game fun. No, normally, teams line up for that field goal. It's time to go get a drink real quick, because you count it. It's good, automatic 3 points. But no more, man. You got to watch that. So it's exciting.
And you know what? I want to, and I'm gonna reach out to my good friend of the show, Josh Scobie, and he had a lot to say because he disagrees with the new kickoff rules. But I was thinking to myself, bro, what if hear me out, because I was gonna bring that up too. What if, because of how the kickers have to, or not have to, the kickers have changed how they kick. You used to want to hear that booming kick, the foot on the ball and kick off. The ball is in the end zone, and they take off running. What if they're saving that leg now? You know what I'm saying? What? Because you don't gotta kick it 60 yards, bro. I want you to kick it in between the 10 and the 15 so they can catch the ball and the ball being played and they run. What if that is saving the leg for the field goals that we kick? Because we see 45, 50-yard kicks left and right. And at one point in time, 53 yards, you'd have to be on a regular prayer, but we see that more often. But what if the new what if the new kickoff rules are giving kickers more value, and we're kind of starting to see it play out. Let's keep it going. Alan, you're right here. For you, right now, through week 4, what is something that you've been keeping your eye on?
I mean, to piggyback off the kicker stuff, I mean, look at what Brandon Aubrey did Sunday night. You're making Green Bay have to go to the length of the field instead of having them start at the 35 when you're getting those kicks within the landing zone, as they call it. And that's why, of course, Green Bay on offense was like, hey, we got to burn as much time as we can because all Dallas has to do is go 5 yards and they can get a field goal instantly. So Brandon Aubrey could hit it from damn near Frisco at this point. So, but to me, the thing that stands out the most is the lack of defense in some of these teams, the lack of defensive play. I mean, we saw it. Preaching to the choir, our defense is terrible, god-awful, worst in the league. We saw it Sunday night with the Packers. We thought they were an elite defense first 2 weeks. They got exposed from the fourth quarter in the Cleveland game on to last week. They haven't been playing good here lately. No offense, Whit. Steelers defense hasn't been the best.
Hey.
It hasn't been the Steelers defense of yesteryear that they have been giving up a lot of points. We talked about Baltimore's defense, how they've been struggling with the injuries and how many points they've given up. This is kind of what the NFL wants, though, right? They want to see points scored. They want to see these high-level plays. They want to see big plays. They want to see, they want to see points on the board. So the NFL's kind of getting what they want, right? They're getting the offensive firepower, the fireworks, so to speak. So I think defenses are definitely struggling here in the early going.
Yeah, I can fully agree with you on that one. Defenses are somewhat of the emphasis of what is happening and what's been wrong. We've seen a lot of it. Ms. April, you're a big football person. We know we it might not even be with your team, but what have you been seeing through football that you put your eye on?
I know they're not going to do it because we're in the middle of the season, but in the off season, these owners have got to address the turf and the grass. There have just been too many injuries on turf and season injuries. I mean, we're only on week 4, and how many people do we have out with season-ending injuries already? Like, come on. Like, you want to add more games for the guys to play. You want to take away some of the preseason, add on more games in the season, make it longer. That's fine. But if you're not giving them the best platform to perform on, how is that better for the team, the player, the fans? How is that in anybody's best interest? Because all you're going to do is keep breaking down your players. And sooner or later, we're going to have major issues with injuries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not even sooner or later, Ms. Avery. You have a huge point. Thanks, Bobby G, for the background. As you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, it is technically October. And we are already having scary hours when it comes to injuries in the NFL. And just to piggyback off of what Ms. Avery was saying, so I had to go and kind of like look it up to figure out.
I have the numbers.
Like
so from
like
going to bet.
So, yeah, since 2020, at least 15 players have suffered ACL or Achilles injuries while playing
mm-mm.
live
Oh
stadium.
no.
That's
No. From 2020 to 2023, there were 91 knee ligament tears that occurred on artificial turf, not just MetLife. Out of the entire NFL, from 2020 to 2023, 91 knee ligaments were torn on artificial turf. 91.
Like,
Hey,
just to cement what April said, real quick. Like, just to cement what you said. In the NFL, I hope y'all hear this. It's QB1. Say hi, QB1.
Hi, QB1.
You are QB1. You don't say QB1. How old are we?
9.
9. Saturdays played on grass. First time playing on grass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like playing on turf or you like playing on grass?
Grass.
Good night.
Good night.
9 years old.
And he already played on turf. Look at that. He already
and to think it was even worse when they had the AstroTurf too. So that was a one and done failed experiment. So if anything, it's like, and it's not also just like knee injuries. It's also like turf toe injuries. It's
So
we lost one of our safeties got hurt with a turf toe Sunday night, and he's out already for the Jets game.
So from 2020 to 2022, there were 120 season-ending lower extremity injuries that happened on artificial turf. So that's not just knees, that's Achilles, anything. 120 in 2 years. 120. That's crazy.
I mean, they worried about everybody's head. You can't get it all. That's it. We worried about concussions, but we got to save some money somewhere. But
I mean, if you want to have prime examples of this, Whit, go back to Alex Smith. What happened to him in Washington? Robert Griffin as well. Same type of injury. What we saw from Elite Neighbors this weekend. A lot of, this has been happening. This has been happening for years now. And like you said, the NFL's more focused on concussions, helmet safety, player safety. If they're really about player safety, they would have gotten rid of turf a long time ago.
And this is what I was first is that somehow the team like the Arizona Cardinals has a removable living grass field that they insert and remove on and off of the field at game day. They let the grass grow outside. It is rolled in to the stadium, and then they put it down, and not even put it down, but they insert it, and it's on like it's like on a large dolly system that they put in and then they take out. And then what I was going to throw in there was, so of course we saw what happened to Elite Neighbors over the weekend. So now the list is at least 15 players from just MetLife, right? Which includes Nick Bosa in 2020, Solomon Thomas with ACL in 2020, Aaron Rodgers with that Achilles in 2023, Jalen Phillips in 2023, and Malik Neighbors. And I don't know if y'all saw, of course, we had no longer playing wide receiver, but probably could if he was in shape and somebody wanted him. We had Odell Beckham criticize the NFL and the Jets organization, pleading for them to eliminate artificial turf.
Not the Jets. He said the Giants. He played for the Giants. Get right.
MetLife in New Jersey. Okay, the stadium itself, in which we saw the entirety of the world saw the Jets and the Giants have issues in the past 3 years. Everybody saw that. MetLife is used multiple times, but in the case where specifically, yes, the Giants. But for me, I can see why that someone and they always say you play faster on turf, but playing faster on turf does not mean that I'm safe. And that's how I want to keep it. Like I just want to keep it like that. Playing fast, I'm straight up.
Odell couldn't stay healthy if he was playing on bubble wrap, so his word don't count.
Wow. You go Odell Allen. He would have been an MVP had he not torn his Achilles in LA. Not Achilles, but
In the Super Bowl, no less, too.
oh, he would have
In
been
your own stadium.
Yeah, he would have been the MVP that year. But once again, then I'm gonna put this back up, and it's not even really a funny one, but I'm gonna put this up right here, man, because if you see right over here on the left, we got the Cheetah Man. Prayers go out to Tyreek Hill, bro. Prayers go out to Tyreek Hill. You know how fast you gotta be, or how scared you have to be of a wide receiver that you are tackling to grab his ankle back knee that hard that he dislocates it. That was a horrible scene. I was actually, doing a little Ubering the other night, and the gentleman got in my car and said, "Boy, you see that? You see what they did to Tyreek?" And I had to stop and look at it on my own time and go, "Wow, I can't believe it." Um, it's wild to say that this is not just a dislocation of his knee, but of course there were additional ligaments that were torn, because that's what happens when you rotate your kneecap in that direction. And we, just real quick, opinion wise, this is the end of the 2025 season for Tyreek Hill. This is probably dang near the end of the 2026 season for Tyreek Hill.
His agent did come out and say that he did have successful surgery today. He will not need additional surgery, and they're hoping that he'll be ready for next season. Now, he won't be the same. He won't be the same player because of the recovery. But yeah,
he can be the same player. Alan, is my point. It's what I'm saying is everyone. I was an Adrian Peterson fan, and Adrian Peterson just so happened to be a freak of nature and come back in 8 months from a very similar, horrible, and horrific injury, non-contact. You know what I'm saying? I think, even if he does not return to form, Tyreek Hill goes into the Hall of Fame. He got the Kansas City rings. He turned the league upside down with his speed, and then he went and was nominated by his peers as the number one player in a row. Are we all thinking that Tyreek Hill comes back, or are we thinking, hey, maybe he's been hitting that time, hanging it up? Maybe he does. What do y'all think?
He can come back.
I just wanted to see him race the sprinter dude, the Olympic dude. Like his football career. I just wanted to see him race the Olympic dude. I don't think that will ever happen now because of his knee. But that's all I wanted to see. As far as football,
I think Miami was going to blow it up anyway, so I don't think he's coming back.
Yeah, it would be. I would be remiss to see them try to go at it again. But last but not least, y'all, I want to go ahead and get this off. We're gonna compare these undefeated teams. There's only 2 teams left that are undefeated, y'all, and y'all know the names already. We're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles and the Buffalo Bills. I want y'all to hear this right here now. I want y'all to hear this. Listen to these numbers: 152 yards, 101, 226, and 130 yards. Then, wait. Through 4 games, on the other side, you got 394 yards, 148, 213, 209 for a total of 964 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a 70% completion. So, one of these things is not like the other, but they are both undefeated teams. And I'm talking about quarterback play when it comes to Jalen Hurts and when it comes to Josh Allen. It seems to me that the way that the Philadelphia Eagles win is to make sure that Jalen Hurts does not have the opportunity to have it messed. I'm not going to say have the game rest on his shoulders, but that they don't give him an opportunity to do something similar to what Josh Allen did in Buffalo. But Josh Allen in Buffalo is great, but can Jalen Hurts produce that way? I don't know. I was watching the other day, and Cam Newton and Gilly the Kid were arguing. Shout out to Cam Newton, in his podcast. Cam Newton said if Patrick Mahomes put up those Jalen Hurts numbers, the will be at, and they will be the laughing stock of the league. I agree. Nobody else can do what Jalen Hurts is doing right now and produce wins at the same time. And I don't know if that's indicative of the Philadelphia Eagles the coaching staff, the way that they play defense, because they hold teams to basically nothing at the same time. So, in you guys' opinion, who's better off right now as we going into week 5, where these teams do both have some tough matchups coming up? Are we still looking at the Buffalo Bills continuing the streak, or Philadelphia Eagles?
Buffalo to me is better off because right now I don't know what to make of the Eagles offense. They're lucky they have as good of a defense as they got right now. And again, we bring back special teams. Their special teams has been great also. Because if not for both of those units, they only had 7 yards in the entire second half against Tampa Bay. 7. That to me is almost unacceptable for a high-powered offense like that. AJ Brown only had two catches. I think he only had like maybe 4 or 5 targets that entire game. Saquon's production has gone down. He's only getting like 2.3 yards per carry nowadays. Their offense has to figure something out. Otherwise, you're going to get those situations again, like what you got last week where Tampa Bay's coming back and almost takes you down at the end of that game. Or the fact that, if you're playing a team like the Rams and they put up 30 on you and you somehow have to fight back and come back in that game. If you do that against a team like what Kansas City's playing like now, or again, Buffalo, you're not going to win those games. So you're winning games, yes, but you're playing with fire, and that's not a good thing to do. And I know it's early in the season, but that still does worry me a little bit about Philadelphia.
Bobby G.
Alan, you're wrong, and here's why. What we're watching in Philadelphia is we're watching the best of sports and the worst of sports at the same time. The Eagles went into Kansas City and they won the game. Chris Jones stood up and says, "You barely had 100. You didn't have 100 yards." What was Jalen Hurts' response?
Hey, we won the freaking game.
Exactly. He don't care. And that's why I disagree with what you started with, is because it can be done if you have a player with no ego, and Jalen Hurts doesn't have an ego. He don't have to throw for 400 yards. He wants to win the damn game. He don't have to run 400 yards. He wants to win the game. He's going to do whatever it takes to win the game. That's the best part of sports. The worst part of sports is on the outside. Bro, you're undefeated. You just won a championship. You're undefeated after winning the championship. Shut your ass up, stand on the outside and catch the ball when I throw it to you. And if I don't, block somebody and cheer for your teammate who's getting the job done, because we're going to do whatever it takes to win football games. I don't care if you have 10 450 in the touchdown, because if we lose, what was it for? But if you get 10 for 24 when we need it and we win the freaking game, I'm all about that. So it's like you're watching a 99.9% egoless team. And like what more can you ask for? Like, how many times do we see teams try to get pretty and lose? The Niners were rolling with Alex Smith, and what happened? They wanted to be pretty. Winning wasn't good enough because Alex Smith, he can't throw the deep ball. So what? Yeah, Kaepernick looked pretty, but what happened to that team 4 years later? They were 2-14, and they tore the whole thing down because you wanted to look pretty. Like, just do what it takes to win. That's it. And like you say, Patrick Mahomes, we would laugh at him. Patrick Mahomes would say, "Count the rings. I won the game." So, yeah, I love what's going on in Philly. And it's like we tell these coaches all the time, use the talent you have. Jalen Hurts, you don't have to carry the team. I got Saquon. I got AJ. I got Devin. Why do we need this dude to throw for 400 yards?
You got it, Ms. April. Close us out.
So this is my issue with the Eagles. I agree with Bobby to an extent. My issue is I don't care about Jalen Hurts throwing a whole bunch and all that. You have one of the best wide receivers on your team, and you're not targeting him. So yeah, I agree with AJ Brown right now about his complaints and his issues with the team because why are y'all not even targeting him? That first game against Cowboys, y'all won by 4 points. And I think he was targeted once or twice.
Once.
You have one of the best wide receivers in the league, and you target him once, and you only won by 4 points. So I understand, yes, you are winning, but when you have those kind of players, do something with the ball. Get those players the ball, not keep stuffing it in Saquon's hands and running it down the middle, and you keep getting stopped, and that's why his production is down. Throw the damn ball.
This is also the 4th straight year, 6th actually, if you count college, 6th or 7th, that Jalen Hurts has had a different play caller. 6 straight years where he's had a different play caller.
Hey, listen, he don't care who calling the plays. He knows, just like Bobby said, whatever they call, if I don't like it, I ain't throwing it.
And I got the Jets girl. We throw these 5 numbers at you, or these 5 people. Puka Nacua, Christian McCaffrey, Chris Olave, Jake Ferguson, Garrett Wilson. Those 5 players lead the NFL in targets right now. What do they all have in common?
The teams are 2-2.
They all losing. They all losing. So do what it takes to win. You'll get the ball when it's your chance. Like, just perform when called upon.
Losing or tying. You got to throw the tying in there.
Got to throw the tie in there.
You can include hold on. You cannot include Puka in that list. His team is not losing.
How they have lost it.
They undefeated, they losing. the Eagles 4-0.
They've lost 1 game.
They're on the better side of 500, that's for sure. But yeah, I get it though. Hey, targets or wins, which one you want?
Just don't let it be ties, for the love of God.
Yeah, give them dubs in that. Boy, you make $30 million a year. You better stand your ass over there on that outside.
Guys, man, we did it. We passed that 2-hour mark. We were 2.5 hours in. I loved it. Thank you for Cheats for coming in and doing the thing, man. Having a baseball show was awesome. I can't wait to do it again. Miss April, I know you're gonna have some more baseball for us. Bobby, we appreciate you with your Negro League conversation. That was very much needed. And Alan, man, I appreciate you for coming in with your knowledge. And Jerry from Dallas. Oh my God, Jerry from Dallas. We appreciate you, of course, for calling in and having some fire to spit for us. But you know how it goes, man. This is the Retro Sports Show. We do this on Tuesdays. We are locked in, and I can't believe it, but somehow, some way.
I wish you had more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been great. It's been fun. I'm telling you right now, we will be back. Bobby G, what we got for the Audible Sportscast on Thursday? What we got?
No, to be me, Avery and Marn. Thursday night post game. We got ironically, we got Puka and the Rams Niners. So, we've been bringing you that on the post game. The original Audible podcast on Friday. I don't know what we're talking about yet, but hey, go back and check our previous episode. We did call Bad Bunny to host the Super Bowl. He was one of our choices. And then Mondays and Wednesdays, Game Time 216. Me and Big Mike from the Man Cave, all Cleveland all day. And then Tuesday back here with the crew. So.
Y'all ready to go play them boys in England? Because we sure did that. We sure dusted the Vikings off.
Yep, Dylan Gabriel rested. He getting some sleep. He got big day for him.
Yeah. Miss April, hi. What you got going on? You gonna watch some more sports?
Playoffs started today, so my phone is on do not disturb for the next week or so. Yeah. And I may or may not be on Thursday. We'll see how that game goes. Because depending on if we make it to a game 3 and the outcome of that game, I may not be in the mood to talk.
All right, Alan, man, what you got on the docket for the rest of the week, bro?
So tomorrow we'll be talking some baseball as well, ranking the teams that are in the postseason. We'll also be giving our predictions on who we feel is going to win the World Series. That'll be fun tomorrow. At the very least, April, you're not the Mets, so props to that.
Hey.
Saturday, Sunday, we got Lock It In. Saturday, we're talking college football. Sunday, we're doing NFL. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then maybe either next week or sometime within the next couple of weeks, we'll be bringing back On the Mat and talking some wrestling again. So.
All right, well, that's what it is, man. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we had a great show. I can't believe it. Once again, thanks to Chiefs for Black Baseball Mixtape. Once again, Bobby G from Audible, Abel from Rec Room Audible, and Alan once again from everywhere, because you do a whole bunch of work, Alan. Thanks. You know what time it is, folks. You know where we at.